Two, three, four. Hey, you will make it TV followers, viewers, supporters, listeners across the globe. Thank you for tuning in to another live segment with your favorite audio host, Arthur Tetacheri. Or you could just call me Miss Whitney because I got one of those names that you don't just hear every day, really. So we do understand those that be like, what? When I pronounce my first name. But yeah, we're happy to have you back. This is You Will Make It TV, where we share weekly and daily inspirational quotes, messages, and insightful topics. So tonight's live is an example of one of those insightful topics. When I do mention those, can you guys hear me okay? If you came in and the audio sounds okay, you can support me by helping me know that. Leave a number one in the chat. We also encourage you to hit the like button, share, and subscribe any of the You Will Make It TV content in 2025. We appreciate your support thus far, though. And as promised, we will be re-promoting those pre-orders for You Will Make It TV t-shirts for anybody who may be interested. Happy Monday to you guys out there, or should I say Tuesday? We're going into a new day. So happy Monday, happy Tuesday, whichever you want to call it. But make it a great week or not. The choice is yours. And we mean it right here from You Will Make It TV. Life is all about, the life experience is mostly about the choices that we make. That's what defines what kind of experience we're going to have. It's when you feel like you're making all those choices that you could have made that were best, and you still see other things that seem to reflect that you're not making those choices that will at least give you a little leeway of why your life may not make sense to you right now. But most times, life is just a series of choices, good and bad choices. But that quote is only reserved for those who actually walk and live freedom at this time. We know that's not the case for everybody. You know what I mean? Life is a series of choices if you're a free person, because everybody say they know what freedom means, but I'm starting to learn freedom, I guess, is different for everybody, like the actual definition, or how much it takes for them to have or not have to consider themselves free or in bondage. But to me, most times when you are living a free life and the experiences it comes with is a series of choices. The good thing about choices, when we make them, we can always go back and prove we made them. uh, no matter how strong or weak the choice seemed to look, a real choice can be proven every single time. And to me, that's what dictates, you know what I mean, what kind of experiences we get out of life. But then that's why we do consider topics like manipulation and just anything else that could be going against a person's free will of choice. We want to shine light more and reverence those type of topics when we're talking about, especially in new age, modern society, because there are all kinds of choices we can make today. Let me say all kind of influences out there. We're not even talking about the choices yet. Nobody cares about what you choose to do on a day-to-day basis. Most of us know. Nobody has time to sit there and worry about what everybody else doing. It's so much we could do in the world today, just one individual at a time. It's true. Um, but this topic tonight was inspired by this, if y'all see it right there, this news story documentary. Because when people share their stories, I actually like to listen, and don't let it be a psychic or a prophet or somebody that say they've been converted to a new religion. Me anyway, I've always been interested into those type of stories. That's just me personally. To some, it's a story. To them, it's their actual life testimony. Like, look, I went from this to that, or I became this, and then I switched to that. I also listen to stories about people who switch careers. or I ain't gonna say switch careers, but those that have experiences with it. Like I might ask a firefighter, what were you doing before you do this? I just always been into that. I don't know, because it matters. How people end up on the journeys and paths that they end up on, to me, has always been interesting to me. I was one of those kids in school asking my teacher, what made you want to do this? I was a weird kid. What made you want to do this? And I was curious too. Like, if I could ask more people, what got you into, right? Or I should make a profession out of it. Like I said, because I'm very into learning those parts of people, not those individuals, but just when we talk about humans altogether. I noticed the same common denominator. Like most of us have some type of story or experience that led us to the paths or paths that we're on or not on right now. It's so crazy. All you can do is really dispute with a person. It's their story. So there's nothing wrong with, number one, letting these people share their stories. Number two, why? That's all you can do. Once a story is a story or a documentary, all you can do is have an opinion. Were you the one went through it? Were you the one that had the conversion? Were you the one that chose to step out on faith about something in your life? If you weren't, all you can do is have an opinion. But it's something about those that have those stories, those quote unquote near-death experience stories, near death and after death. Because some people, they have actually died and been brought back to life. That's, if I can't ever find inspiration, y'all, I know exactly where to look, to be honest. But that's why I feel like I'm a good candidate for a reaction or commentary informational video about some of what that lady was talking about. Not just her, but women like her that actually grew up in religious type sex or I don't know why when we mention religion, people automatically only think you're talking about Christian or Christ or Baptist. There are how many religions again? Just reminding everybody that You Will Make It TV. And let me say this, no matter what religion you are across the globe, if you ever come across one of our streams, you're welcome. You absolutely are. That's what's wrong with the world today. Everybody want to group up in only similar causes. Why don't you get out here and learn about causes that have nothing to do with you? That's how you really expand your horizon, last I checked. It's not diverse until you allow something to be diverse. And just to say, oh, the whole world is diverse right now. No, it's not. You still have a whole lot of groups and communities that are walking around here with that type of mentality of, if you're not this and that with us, then you shouldn't be entitled. I mean, you can have your opinion, but you shouldn't, whatever you join, you should never be on something so high that you deserve more than the next religious group or the next believer or what a person's opinion is. You deserve more or less. That's where it gets really stupid to me. You know what I mean? Why can't everybody just have their own beliefs? Why can't we all walk confidently in our own beliefs? That's what kind of make it look like, hey, do people really believe what they say they believe? Not just asking myself that, but, we're kind of all forced to look at it when you have certain groups clicking up just to attack others who don't believe what they believe. And anything like that is not going to resemble, I'm sorry, that's not going to resemble the face of God. That's why I say I know every religion is not talking about God. I know every religion, that's not what their background or moral foundation is about. They wouldn't even allow such things if it's of God. Now, can you guarantee, you as a follower of God today, can you guarantee that you can control the actions of everybody down the street, in your community, in your state, in your country? No, you cannot. I'm so tired of people saying that the souls and lives of people should be on the backs of the believers, because really, a believer starts out believing for themselves. It never has something to do with somebody outside of them. That's the difference between a believer in Christ and the believer in other things. Christ is teaching strictly look at that. Like, don't self-loathe in a way that you are worshiping yourself, but definitely check yourself. That's what I love about Christ's teachings. It definitely is going to encourage you to check yourself, like I said. It's definitely going to encourage you to go within and all those beautiful things and really explore who you are. But that's the point of becoming a believer. It was never about doing it for other people or to look like something or just doing it because everybody else is doing it. I don't like that. If I'm going to encourage somebody into the faith walk with Christ, it'll never be, oh, I think you should do it because I am. Never, bro. I don't think anybody's ever heard me say it. That's how much I believe that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to tell somebody. Like, yeah, I think you should have faith because I have faith, but it doesn't really work like that. You better have more than that to say if you call yourself convincing somebody into faith, convincing somebody into love, convincing somebody into hope. That's kind of not how we come off at people. Shout out to everybody in the chat tonight. But yeah, when you have like, to me, I guess I'm not saying nothing that doesn't make sense. So let me say it in a way that people can understand when it comes to my opinion and commentary. Um, when you have people that, have y'all seen the movie Final Destination? Do y'all think it's important, back to what I was saying, if a person, I was using the movie Final Destination as an example. That movie is all about how a young lady, part one, a young lady, because I was just moved to share my inspirational topic based off of this story. When we could talk about what leaders say, we be on the TV looking at what the leader gonna say next, what they changing that, what laws they're gonna change that. It should be the same with spiritual things. Whew. Okay, all right. I'm getting stronger with this though. Hold on. Back to what I was saying. Final Destination, y'all. It's a horror movie. They got a part one, a part two, part three, part four. I think it go up to 5 parts these days. Final Destination. Let's go back to part one. These kids are finna take an airplane ride. They just graduated high school where they were finna graduate. They were all celebrating. I'm bringing this movie up for a reason. I'm bringing this movie up for a reason. So the girl tries to tell them she had a vision that something was going to happen when they got on a plane. It was going to be a bad plane crash, or it was a car wreck on part one. I think it was a bad car crash. We can look at the movie Jeepers Creepers too. In Jeepers Creepers, there was a girl on a school bus, and she had a vision. Her vision was while she was asleep. Both of them in Final Destination and Jeepers Creepers. The girl, they seem to take a nap or something, or doze off. Like every vision ain't just like that. So Raven, where you just happen to look off into space and somebody feel like, oh, what did you see? Because even when I do that, they call it daydreaming. That would mean we're all psychic. So you saying every time somebody daydream, they're a psychic? No. But some psychics, that is how they see things too. I'm not here to disrespect it. I'm just trying to clarify some things. Because during these times, I mean, why not talk about it? We can normalize paranormal activity and demonic activity and demons and the reality of them. Well, we need to normalize people knowing how to protect themselves too if it's something that they actually don't want in their lives. What you mean? I would just say I ain't never heard a person say they had to protect themselves from Christ believers. Like, what were the Christ believers doing? You would have to tell me the whole story. Most people that say they stand on and believe in the teachings of Christ, they wouldn't even be exhibiting. I'm saying when it comes to coming after other people, no. And what other people believe, no. And any churches and believers or people that's doing it, that's exactly what the problem is here. Because there should always be a clear difference. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Because it gets a little deeper. Like, who cares what the name of the church is? Who cares where who goes and what Jack and Jill did when a whole psychic can see something about everybody that everybody should be paying attention to? I don't care who the psychic is. If they're a real psychic, you know what always proves they're a real one? Somebody comes back and confirm what they said, what they saw, because you're not going to speak what you didn't see, right? That's what always confirm who's really true in that. Are we saying that psychics are the one deserve all the resources in the world? No, but I do believe they should be treated better. Any one of them that say they got a story of discrimination and stupid stuff, it's really stupid these days, because like that means people are saying, shut up, we don't care about the future. We don't care about what tomorrow is. We're just happy with today. And ain't nothing wrong with thinking that way, but how can you say that you're a real goal planner and you like to reach milestones and stuff, but you don't even care about the future? You can't take people serious with that on that note, you know. But once again, if it was just a regular lady they had interviewed about, hey, this is what I think we need to watch out with our children, that would be different. But she was a whole psychic. So I think it's worth like looking at it, talking about. They wouldn't get so many K views. That one documentary probably got 300K views because people do care. People do care. Even if you're a fake psychic, let's hear what you have to say. You know what I mean? If you're just going to make it suddenly about who every psychic and prophet is false all of a sudden, the only people would try to be doing it anyway, in my opinion, is the false ones. The real ones being what they are. It's like, how can you come and suddenly change that, bro? Somebody been red all their life. You just going to come and paint them blue. Since when, bro? Somebody been pink their whole life. You just going to come and paint them green, and everybody's supposed to believe they green, but the person still got whole evidence of the day they was pink. They have the evidence because that's who they were and they birthright. Like, that's what they were born as. So, yeah, it's crazy how we have all these things to quote unquote protect the human life, right? That's called human rights. In some countries, maybe they have more than others. In some countries, they have less than others. But where I live, we have human rights. But what if being a human comes with those abilities? Like, you can see. So you just walk around being quiet. I mean, if you speak on it, do people want to hear it? I am happy to see that more platforms are encouraging and welcoming. Because when you say prophets, it's like everybody, this is how they debunk every prophet these days. They just going to call them a false prophet. But like I said, how can you paint something a different color that was always one color his whole life? That's all you can do with it, just like with a psychic. If a person know you had a psychic fortune telling business for 25 years, just because you stopped that business don't mean them people that you helped gonna forget about you. I can tell you that. If it was a real psychic business, you could say, yeah, I'm out of business. I ain't doing it no more. I guarantee you. See, it's certain movies too where people say, no, I'm retired, like cops or military or firefighters. They like, no, I'm retired. Even heroes. What's that one movie? Was it called Hitch? Not Hitch. The one where Will Smith was a hero. He'd tell them all the time, I ain't interested in doing it every day. I'm a regular human just like y'all. But it's funny when they try to sit back and call themselves retiring or just be staying quiet. They usually are, what's they called, like an encore. They're requested. They're on demand. Like somebody like, no, we need you to come back and speak. You're like, well, I'm a psychic. I don't want to speak no more. Or I'm a prophet. I don't want to speak no more. When have we heard of that in the Bible, y'all, that a prophet just shut up because people wanted them to? Because people stage stuff around them so they can shut up. When have we heard of it? Doing it to a normal person that's not a psychic or a prophet is wrong too. I will say that that's my opinion, but to do it to someone on that caliber is even crazier, bro. That's like trying to go shut Batman up. It's not like if you shut him up, people gonna forget about the days he was Batman. He's still already done enough where he's already earned. That's why his name is Batman. Yeah. Whether Batman chooses to stay in the house all day or come outside and be a hero. The thing about it, he's so him. If he wasn't in action, it's gonna definitely show. Where they like, what the hell? We ain't got Batman. It's gonna show through the crime. That's another thing I want to say. People act so like activists when it come to crimes and justice. You know what I mean? And then it's like, but when you talk about sin and righteousness, they quiet. It's like, oh no, we all know what sin is. Well, my question is, how do we know what sin is, but we don't know what crime is? Or how do we know what crime is, but we don't know what sin is? Because even if I wasn't a religious person, it seems like there is no sin at all if nobody's committing crimes at all. There's no crime at all if nobody's committing sins. It go both ways, if y'all see what I'm trying to say. And we know in the spiritual world, I was just bringing it back up, there are laws and stuff. You think psychics just say that because they want to? It's like there's a real spiritual world and a spiritual organization out here that was here longer before any of us. And how you just gonna come and say, well, we're gonna change those spiritual laws? It sounds crazy. All you can control is the people out here. Nobody, none of us, I ain't heard of that. I ain't heard a psychic yet, a fortune teller yet, a prophet yet that was able to change how things work in the spirit. I mean, unless it was a positive way, you know, because prayer throughs and miracles and stuff like that are real. But I think it's crazy that at the same time you have stories coming out like this. Like maybe a psychic comes out and say, hey, I believe a time is going to come where we're going to have to protect our children from occult things, satanic occult things, for real. What she said exactly is that, yeah, hey, what if somebody's coming after our children? And we don't mean just somebody, but actual entities, actual demons, actually the devil. It's sad you can't come out and say, hey, protect your kids from the devil without people getting all juicy about it. You should be thanking somebody coming out and say, they ain't saying nothing wrong. Even if you don't believe there's a devil, trust me, if he exists, you might want to be concerned if you have kids and psychics and prophets. That's what I'm seeing. As far as their beliefs, they're laying down having the same visions, the same dreams, that we need to protect our kids. So I'll share one, for example, even if this dream was years ago, why do I have to be some great spiritual leader for people to take what I said I saw serious? And at that point, then they want to mock you when you quiet. Just say it nicely. Hey, Miss Arthur Sherry Whitney, we might need you to come back and speak on things. Like, why would people be scared? I mean, to say that to me or anybody else. Because there might have been dreams that just because people didn't want you speaking on them don't mean they disappeared or you don't remember what you saw. Right? I mean, that go for anybody. And the Bible say in the last days, your young men and young women gonna have more dreams and visions. You cannot deny it's been more and more stories coming out of people having visions and dreams. I mean, we just have the internet, so we know about them faster, but people have always had visions and dreams. Back to what I was saying though. The dream I had, it was like a light up ball. Y'all know they make those for toddlers for real. It's like a ball, it'll roll on its own. I can't say like a robot, but it's a ball. It's like a little plastic ball. It rolls around, it sings the letters, and it also lights up. So it was kind of like that. And it was rolling across the floor. And at the time I had the dream, one of my middle daughters, she was a toddler. So it felt so real. And let me tell y'all, from You Will Make Your TV, them dreams that y'all have that feel real, pay attention to them. Any dream feel real. That's why people be like, oh my God, I just had a nightmare, or I just had a dream. Because most times that's what's crazy. A dream is a dream, but them ones that people wake up talking about, oh my God, that felt so real. It felt so real, I felt like I was actually drinking the Sprite. I still got the taste on my lips. I don't think stuff like that is a coincidence. If you sat there and drank a Sprite in your dream and you still taste it when you wake up, or you get bit by a dog in your dream and your hands still kind of hurt as if that dog really bit you, how much realer does it need to get? And yes, leave those people alone that work in the professions that try to help people like navigate and understand those type of things better, because try to call the police and tell them you seen a ghost in your house. What can they do about that? I would still say that's an invasion of privacy. You didn't invite the ghost in there, but it wouldn't, or what? That would still be considered an intruder, right? Yeah. See, but they say I guess just saying there's no spiritual world at all makes it a little less complicated for us all, but that doesn't mean that it's just weird, bro. It doesn't mean the spiritual world don't exist. And this is my second time talking about it in spiritual topics this week. Earlier this week, we talked about the Labubu dolls and the Annabelle doll. I like to talk about those insightful topics over here. Not because, oh, she's trying to hurt somebody's feeling, talking against demonic things. I'm sorry, I am against demonic things. Let me make that clear. But what pretty much in the world doesn't have some type of demonic history tied to it? Literally, bro. Literally. You can look at fashion designers. I learned something about some of these fashion designers. I was shocked. And they say, well, she doesn't have designer on. Maybe because I've already researched some of these, not the designers themselves, but maybe the histories of some of these companies or where they got their name from. Just looking at the origin of the name of some of these places or the logos of some of these places. Yeah, we got a right to do that. We sure do. Before we sit there and spend our money on something just to look cool, just to feel cool. Talking about I like to dress good because it makes me feel good. I believe that, but with what I put on, why I gotta have brands on it for you to feel like I look good? Like, come on, bro. Some people don't mind going as far as their research. Well, let me research Starbucks. Let me research Wendy's. Let me research all of this stuff, right? Because they call us a consumer for a reason. You can only consume. Consume means it's going within you. You're intaking something. Whether it's clothes or furniture, you still finna intake it in your house, aren't you? You finna take it right in your house. So that's why they call you a consumer after you purchase something. That's why they do statistical researches on what you like and don't like. They do surveys, but no, they do call you a consumer. Consumer survey. And you think it don't matter what you bring in your house or what you bring. I mean, I'm gonna go back and listen to these segments too, because I listen to them as a minister. I be ministering to myself as I minister to others. All right. So I was just saying, like, when will we normalize or re-normalize the platforms for prophets and psychics? Or do we just have to, when they do start their own communities, look at the type of stuff that be happening? And it's like, if you can try to make it look like all these different religious groups are suddenly committing crimes, then what do people have to believe in? Well, I'm already showing people, even if you're not in a community or a group or organization with your beliefs, if you really believe what you're going to believe when you all alone, sweetie, you're going to still believe that. You're going to still study that. You're going to still research that. You going to consume yourself so much with it, you ain't got to say what you believe no more. It's going to show. It's crazy, bro. I'm not saying that churches and stuff should come to an end or any type of religious organization. I still believe in it. Like, I think it's beautiful. It still shows me the diversity of culture. If God wanted everybody to be just alike, cultures wouldn't exist. Different cultures, different cultural groups. That's why we all really have the same things as humans as far as body parts. But as far as culture, no, we don't. It's too late to try to change that, bro. Cultures go so far back in history, cultural practices and cultural beliefs. See, because without the belief, you're not going to even do the practice. That's why it means something to me. How you going to practice something you don't even believe? If I don't believe the letter A says ah, then I probably won't practice sounding out the ah sound every time I read a book. It takes me to believe something before I practice something, don't it? Okay. And just because a teacher, we live in a time that just because a teacher, I'm not trying to debunk teachers, But it's kind of cool to have those students too that even make the teacher double check. You got too many teachers get offended about that today. If you ask me, if a younger person correct you, what's wrong with it? Or I ain't gonna even just say correct you, but maybe they add to or they show you where you missed a part. I'm not saying it's every, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even just going to say a young person. I was using a young person for example, but that could happen. Let's say you at a work orientation. Everybody in that room knows that you don't know more than the boss about the job yet. You just started. It's orientation because you do have those type of people that be trying to tell you, like, bro, you ain't even started. Do you even have experience? Okay, maybe you have experience. That's why we hired you, but do you have experience here? How you going to come in here trying to tell the orientation teacher what they should do? At that point, all you can do is have suggestions. I'm saying suggestions have to be welcome. But you can't go in there telling the orientation teacher how to do things. The orientation teacher, you just started. Come on, bro. Now, that type of stuff is like obvious. That's why I'm giving different examples. But when it comes to culturalistic practices, they don't even exist without the beliefs. So that goes back to maybe more questioning the beliefs. That's all you can do. You can question why a person believes something. One of the most interesting things, for example, I saw when it came to culturalistic beliefs, like there's some crazy folklores out there or myth stories. I'm very much into them. But I couldn't be into them without knowing what a myth is or what a folklore is. So I'm very aware of what they are. That don't mean I don't like those type of stories, genres, I guess you could call it. I love those genres, folklores, myths. Somebody might say, well, you like to believe lies. Okay, if I'm interested in other fairy tales like the Three Little Bears, what's wrong with me being interested in myths and folklores? It's just nice to know, like, when it comes to, like, historically, like, what are some stories that were repeated on or passed down? At least I know that it's a myth or a folklore, no matter how long it was passed down. Don't anybody find that important, like, to know the difference between myths, folklores, rumors, and true stories? Literally. At the beginning of certain stories, it's going to tell you, based on a true story. Okay, so when these true stories come out and people say, hey, I was an ex this, I don't look at that as whistleblowing. Hey, when it comes to spiritual things, that's not whistleblowing, that's God. Because you don't have to have insight about another side of life at all. The only way you get that is if you come and experience it yourself, or you see it, or somebody tell you. How are you going to know more about, like I just said, how are you going to say you know more about something somebody else practiced or believed, especially if it was like generationally? Literally, like passed down, passed down, passed down. I wouldn't even do that. I'm not finna come to somebody's family beliefs and be like, no, this is what y'all. I can learn. I can ask questions. I can even offer suggestions and make little comments and jokes. But other than that, that person would still be more experienced in whatever it is they believe in practice. Especially if I have no experience at all. That's why I said I am interested anytime. Every time you might catch me reading a myth or folklore story. What's wrong with those? What's that one sea ocean you used to tell me about, baby? Not Megalodon. Some of those myths, Greek animals that be in the water. What's one of their name? It start with an M. In the water, the great serpent fish.
Leviathan?
Yeah. I don't even think Leviathan is a myth. Is it? Stuff like that, y'all. I just get, like, interested. I don't think Leviathan, even if they keep describing him as a myth, I don't have to think he's a myth. I could think there was actually a creature in the water once upon a time. In the oceans, he probably still down there. You know they can only go so deep. See, that's exactly why I think that way. I ain't gonna be one of those that's shocked if we end up seeing Leviathan. You know, I'm not gonna lie, the masses might be shocked, like, oh my God, what? I'm not. I'm gonna be like, I knew I had a feeling that there's a possibility that something that we think just evolved or don't exist no more is actually still out here somewhere. on Jurassic Park, it was supposed to be a whole nother island. That's crazy. We still have different islands out there today. And the way they did the movie, it was in modern time, but there was this island you could go to. And whether you told your family about it, pretty much stuff like that is usually kept top secret anyway. I bet they would keep that secret. Like, why would we tell y'all that it's dinosaurs? Why would they? It's like some experiments, I understand why they keep it quiet. Others, I agree. We need to know about them if they're going on. That's the thing about experiments. Some of them be secret, but all I say, in my opinion, to that is they do it for a reason. Last we knew, when something is top secret, it's for a whole damn reason. I hope the reason is more than, oh, we just thought it should be top secret. Like, that's why I'm speaking on it. I think it is because everybody at one time, sometimes big masses of people don't even need to know everything, bro. Even God believed it. Like, that's why people don't know everything. But I'm just saying, it might be higher classes of people that do keep stuff secret at any given time for the reasons they do. I would just say we're living in a time, if it's more of a time of knowledge and truth seeking, which it is, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Let the people seek answers. Maybe that will help people. You sit up here saying the world getting worse. Well, don't try to stop people when they're looking for answers either. Maybe the answers they've been given or that they're stuck at or just staying stagnant at one level of knowledge and education is not going to get it. Now, when you see clear evidence signs of that, that's the whole reason to offer knowledge. Maybe even if it's baby pieces, like baby food, spoonfuls. You know what I mean? Who swallow foods without chewing it? That's what I'm asking. Who just take a bite and they don't chew? What animal does that? Not even animals do that. And we definitely break down our food. People be like, it's broken down in the stomach. Bro, it's broken down way before we swallow it. That's the same thing with knowledge. I heard that's how it's supposed to be. You don't just sit there and throw no full handful of knowledge in somebody's mouth and then wonder why they choked on it. Wonder why they could barely swallow it. It wasn't even broken down. But everybody deserves to seek knowledge. Everybody deserves to be into what they're into. But you can tell that's not good teaching methods to me, to just throw it at people. They ain't even chewed it up, digest it. What's that called? It's broken down with the saliva, real food. It goes through a whole breakdown process before we even swallow it. So I believe that part of the Bible that we should break down things. We have to break down understanding to get an understanding. And then it's saying all you're getting, get an understanding. That's crazy, right? It never says how you do that or how far to go to get an understanding. But it does say in all you're getting, get an understanding. He's saying all you're getting, get an understanding. Tell me the Bible don't say that. It don't even say about what. It don't say how to get it. But just, you better get an understanding. Even God agrees with that. That ain't, understanding is not agreeing or denying. It's understanding. It take a lot just to understand something. Am I the only one that thinks this here? It take a lot of surrender right there. That ain't even, oh, I agree. Oh, I created it. No, that's just understanding. Like, come on, bro. Understanding where somebody's coming from. That don't mean you agree where they coming from or you like where they coming from. Understanding. because people try to make it hard to see, like, oh, where is a person in Christ? Like they say, oh, okay, well, let's talk about that understanding. A lot of people that follow Christ, they're going to give you that. They're taught to. The teachings of Christ teach us to. And yes, we're not perfect ever. No human being ever is going to be perfect. Not occultist followers, not any religion you find. That's what this comes down to. What religion you found a perfect person? They might be perfect to their family, their community, even the temples they go to. But they not, I can tell you right now, they ain't perfect. They ain't perfect till they forgiving people, getting an understanding. I mean, and every time that life requires it out of you, they may have practices that help them to adjust to life. Yes, that is correct. To their own walks of life. But I just don't believe that, bro. That's what this come down to. Like religion, nobody's perfect. I don't care what they tell me they practice. I'm a different person. Like, how is that rude? What I'm saying? Can anybody out there get an understanding with me like that? You know what I mean? I'm just wondering, like, what religion? We ain't talking about those that don't have one. We know the ones don't have a religion have some imperfections, right? Or that's what we would assume. But all those that say they follow and practice and walk in religion all over the earth, God's green earth right now, which one of them are perfect? That's where you get to looking at, oh, look at everybody's perception of perfect, bro. All I want is perfect peace. If it's out there, y'all hear me? I'm not going to ever be perfect. My situation, oh, what? Life is never going to be perfect. I feel like life is perfect just being what it is. It don't owe none of us anything. Anybody who practice any religion, we all got a life. You're not practicing nothing without that. And if you are practicing a religion, I just know you got breath in your body. You're mobile. You're living. And then it's crazy. No matter what religion you're practicing, you're not perfect. Thank you, guys. Come on, mama. Come join us. You coming with me? You're welcome. Come on. You can come in here if you want. Oh, she want my attention in the room. She heard mommy live. I'm doing a little teaching. I ain't gonna be on here long. But that is a thing with teaching too, being teachable. We can look for signs of that in anybody's life, okay? But it would, I would say, matter what your definition of a teacher is. Because how can you say somebody's teachable or not, and your definition of teaching is what? Yeah, just look at people teaching techniques, bro. Like, you're not trying to take away from anybody and what they do. I'm trying to make everybody better here at You Will Make It TV. I want to encourage people to help me be better. That's really it. We didn't come here with no religious title. And I'm not against religion. Like I said, though, I'm not going to get stuck and stagnant at the topics of religion when ain't nobody in religion is perfect. It don't matter which religion it is. They act like it's only one religion. That's what I'm saying. What are we really talking about here? Oh, now when we're talking spirituality, though, that is a whole nother topic that most religions do incorporate with their ding 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 practices. Okay, yeah, spirituality, they try to keep it out of the conversation, but there's no way you can when you are talking about most religions today or in history. There's some type of ritualistic practice. Why is it ritualistic? They believe in something spiritually. Otherwise, you're just a sitting log. Like, what are you doing? But you say you're practicing something. We were talking about plankton and SpongeBob earlier. Is that why you put it on SpongeBob? I might do a separate topic about that. It's a whole life lesson out of that cartoon, though. any religion you practice has some type of they believe in spirituality though. That's all I left off saying. And it shows because they all have a different, like some churches, y'all might have a day where you break the bread and drink the wine. They say this is like a practice, like, hey, we're eating of the bread of Jesus and drinking the wine, right? Some people, they ask no questions. They're just there. They came because grandma asked them to come. I feel like it matters because you could end up attending any type of mass, you know what I mean? Like of any religion. Let's say you're just being nice. You want to come in and see what everybody's doing. You're just visiting. Don't they call it a visitor? Now, if it's the type of religion where I'm not, y'all don't have visitors because of what I look like, that's the type of stuff I look at. Because of what I look like or what I'm dressed or how you saw me live my life yesterday, I can't come in here and learn about Buddhism. They might look at me and be like, what is a lady like you doing here? I don't know. I'm sure all walks of life are welcome to any religion they want to join or start learning more about so they can practice. I shouldn't say join because religion is more of I would say a part of your personality, your makeup, a part of your character if you choose to start practicing one. You don't necessarily need a church or a group or any other cult to help you do that. I mean, you don't. Why can't you eat? I wouldn't care what you believe in. Why you can't do that at home by yourself? Or is that what we got to start getting down to? Because look, people don't, I don't think that lady have a reason to lie. She shared her story as a psychic, as a seer, as a prophet. And you like, hey, I think we need to protect our children. There's some very dark forces out there. People shouldn't even need to. First of all, people shouldn't have to tell you that. A psychic or a prophet or anybody. You just look at the news. Look at the news, man. I hate for it to sound messed up. I'm not laughing at it in that way, but really, it be some crazy stories on the news. I ain't finna say these days. That's why the news always existed. It's always some crazy stories on there. I grew up in a day where if my older people were watching the news, I had one granny, bro, she will get on your butt like, hey, shut up. Like she was sweet all day long. If the news is on, y'all really don't know that though, probably about me. But I'm not saying it means anything. I'm just saying like maybe that makes me different a little bit. I learn to respect people when they're watching the news, bro. Even when I'm watching, I found myself telling my little kid, hey, be quiet for a second. Dang, I'm trying to hear this news story. You know what I mean? But I grew up in a time, man, if she was watching that news, one of my grandparents or something, they will tell you to shut up. My feelings would be hurt a little bit. And then I would look at the TV like, well, what's so interesting about this? I'm trying to tell you something. Or we loud and you telling us to shut up. But I would look at it. And at that age, you try to see what you're watching, but I just didn't care. I really didn't. So I have to understand that about my kids too. Like you can't expect to say, this is happening on the news and some children. Come on, bro. Understand it. I remember the days I was confused, like it just seemed boring. Like I wasn't at a mindset where, oh, I'm gonna sit here and listen to this. And I maybe would listen about the weather. I do remember understanding that as a kid. Like, oh, it's gonna rain. I'm watching it with my granny. Like, oh, okay, it's gonna be sunny. I understood that as a kid, but the other news stuff, I just went into it. When they start doing all that talking and sports casting, I'm out of here, granny. Like, all I need to see is the news. And usually, the weather, and they have that on the bottom left-hand corner. It's going to say what degrees it is outside and what time it is. Oh, yeah, when they start doing that traffic, I'm really out the room. I'm just talking about back when I was a kid, though. Like, I'm not finna listen to that. They be like, 5 o'clock. They say the same thing about traffic every day. Same like on the news. If it ain't a record or something serious, I don't even see why. But I do. I see why it's important. They just keep traffic maps and keep up with the flow of the traffic as well. I'm not a traffic controller, so I don't know how they help us every day, but we're thankful for those. Shout out to y'all from You Will Make It TV, all the special ones with careers that work in traffic right now. I respect you. But I was just saying on the news, when I was little, I didn't care about that. It do seem like y'all talk about the traffic every day. Like, yeah, it's traffic going east 80 bound. Southbound 80. It's a lot of traffic. Like, oh, who cares? I'm out of here. I'm a kid. I can't drive anyway. Let me see. I'm just thinking of all the different stuff. Yeah, like traffic, sports, news. Sometimes it was some crazy stories got my attention as a kid on the news. You'd be like, what? If you say some crazy stuff. Thank you. I'm shouting out one of the comments here because I actually agree. Our buddy here in the You Will Make It TV chat said, Christianity is the only religion that believes we have perfection through Jesus and eternal life as a free gift through accepting Jesus. Thank you for that comment, friend. And it says, I disagree. Isn't religion about truth? See, that's why we're having a topic. I can do disagreements. Come on, keep commenting in the chat, y'all. Who said, I'm not being funny, I'm talking to my chatter in the comments, but who said that I'm just asking a question? That's how discussions go. They're just back and forth questions and suggestions. But you said in the comments, isn't religion about the truth? I would say, how is that true and every religion is different? If the word religion is just about truth, I hope my commenter's back. I was answering his question. If religion is just about truth, how is that true? And every religion is different. Do we know the definition of religion? Each and every religion is different. But are you saying, my friend, that there is only one true religion? Maybe that's what you're trying to say. There's only one true religion? Y'all know there's a clothes brand called True Religion. Shout out to them on tonight from You Will Make It TV. It's a very popular clothing trend called True Religion. And it's funny, that's what they call it. It's a whole fashion brand called True Religion. That's exactly what I was talking about. Do I even personally, they can find, like, I'm looking for signs in that person's life that they follow Christ. Well, that's one for you. When the last time you seen me wear a brand? If I wanted to, though, I guess I could, or I will. I'm not saying that I won't, but just making that a top priority for my life every day is not it. And you can tell I grew out of it. Like, I don't have to have on a clothing brand to introduce myself every day. Not knocking those who do. But I respect my life the way it is. Maybe ask me why I'm like that. Because I can take my last and buy brand name clothes and shoes and makeup too. Even if I had the money just to splurge on it, I wouldn't just probably do it like that. I understand those rich people that you could see out in public every day and not even know they rich, bro. Like, they are not looking for that type of... Why else would you say a whole rich person wears Skechers? Or, like, they could just wear any shoes or clothes they want to. Some of them wear casual clothes, khakis, shoes. Like, he only dress up if he got to go to work, a suit. Everybody ain't doing all that flashy stuff just because they're rich. I was just trying to answer the commenter in the chat, though. My personal belief is that, oh, you said Christianity is the only religion. It's just, it's not technically true, though. It's not technically true. Christianity wouldn't today be technically the only religion. That's why people out here seeking everything else too. But they do know Christianity, quote unquote, Christianity is an option. And then don't you know it's people out here believe they practice two things? They practice two different, three, four different religions. I mean, that's their life. But those are the kind of stories, just like I listen to a prophet or a psychic, I will sit up and listen to somebody who tell me they practice four religions. It's just what I know how far to go. I know converted to everything. I'm only one person, bro. If I sit here and convert to everything that the world offer me, I ain't gonna have a long life, am I? That don't even sound good. Yeah, I'm sitting up here converting to everything that everybody offer me. Literally. Like that would be, I'm praying for you, because it probably is people out there like that, man. But when they use the term lost, that's what they talking about. Like, you shouldn't even be converting to every option that's fed to you. Literally, who can do that? That's greedy as hell. Literally, like, everything they offer you to eat, drink, wear, you just, yes, give it all to me. Like, that sounds crazy, bro. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to step on any toes, but there are people that feel like they have time enough. It matters to them. They dedicate their life to more than one religion. But let's keep it clear. The followers of Christ, the believers of Christ, do believe that you can only serve one God. That's very much a real part of what they believe and practice, what they're supposed to be. It ain't like you going to jail. I'm saying if you say you believe something, but once again, what religion has a community full of people that are perfect? None, because like our brother in the chat was saying, only one of them is known to teach that and then that's only being perfect through Christ. Christ there by your side now. Christ here. You know what I'm saying? You standing on his word and you believe in vengeance is his. You don't even live your life a little bit like others because you believe what you follow, what he's teaching. You turn the other cheek. You stand humble. You're practicing humility. You're practicing long suffering. It's not, I'm not being funny. It's not to do with candles, and you don't even have to go to a store. That's what I love most about the beliefs and teachings of Christ. You don't have to go to a store and buy anything to stand out on faith. Some situations in our life just force you to. That is the truth. You do not have to go to any stores and buy any special tools and gadgets and trinkets to believe in Christ, to practice the teachings of Christ. Even if you pray, it don't have to be some ritualistic room and all of this stuff. You can pray at the bus stop. You can pray at the river. You can pray at the park. You just go give your heart to God anywhere. So yeah, man. But I would just say it shouldn't take any religious person to tell you to be more vigilant with your kids, because there might be more higher spiritually ranked darkness out there literally preying on them. It shouldn't take that, but we love how God worked, don't he? If this is not proof of it, people still trying to stay in that old way of, because of who is saying it, it could be false, or we might, no, saying something like that out of anybody's mouth, they're right. I never got to tell the dream, but it was like a ball, like a plastic ball that was lighting up. It was just rolling on the floor, which they do have toys like that. It ain't bad anyway. It's a price toy, or they got all kind of cool toys today. But as far as the light up part of the ball that I was trying to describe, I saw in my dream, it would make you think of the hoverboards or like LED lights type of deal. It had like those type of glowing lights, like as the ball, and it was singing. And my little baby was just chasing after the ball. She was just chasing after it in my dream. And at first I was just watching her play with it, but then it slowly started to turn into some like weird looking spider. It was huge too. And of course, if it's a toddler, you're gonna try to hurry up and swoop your toddler away from something like that. So in the dream, I started chasing her. I had a lot of dreams actually where I'm like saving my daughters. I ain't gonna lie. I just now thought about it. It's perfect for this topic. Why not come out and say it? I have had a lot of dreams of me saving my daughters. Not to be funny. It wasn't nobody else, bro. Me, they mama. And then, ain't that every parent's dream though? Like, if they could save every child from every danger in the world, they would. Ask most parents today that love their children. That's why I'm saying we're actually paying attention to where certain attacks seem more. Just we know you would. Parents would notice them because we know what it takes just to be a parent. They'll say, "Oh, everybody that have a kid ain't a parent," but they don't say that everybody that have a kid know what, and they have parent a kid know what that's like. Literally, even if their kids are grown now, they know what parenting is like. Like just about most people that have experience with parenting know exactly. I don't care what class of money, anything you're in. You just know what comes with parenting. Like you know what's required of you. Yeah, you got a taste of it the day you start parenting. So it's like most people know what that's like. It's scary, but it's good at the same time. You know what I mean? It's a good thing, but it's actually scary that a lot of people are aware of what parents like, literally what's required of them. Yup, work on the top of the list. Yeah, let's start there. Work at the top of the list. Every parent, we can't oh, I don't think I want to do it, or I just don't want to. And I don't like that they trying to make like most modern day young people look like we're just trying to be internet gurus and we don't care about work. You do know a lot of the young people today are also parents. Parents. And it's like, who's trying to make this sick agenda where it makes it look like all the young parents of today shouldn't be parents. Like that's weird. It's a conflicting opinion at most. And that's all it should be. Cause look, did we say something when Planned Parenthood was out and birth control and all this other stuff? Like, who wants to sit back and control the agenda of like, yeah, all young parents of today can't parent. Can't none of them do it. That's weird. We all know what comes with parenting, whether it was back in the day or today. Let's talk those facts. Parents do chores. We're not even talking about like the kids yet. We're just talking parenting. Like parenting, it's different. Everybody got different styles. Like I was trying to describe about religions. There are different religions. Okay, so everybody practice something different. There are different parenting styles, so everybody does it different. Some will sit back and like that parent's lazy or that parent's a hard worker. I wouldn't care if you saying a parent was a hard worker and they go through a season of not working. Yeah, that should still be what you're labeling them as, not lazy. You call somebody that's never, ever, ever in their life had a job lazy. It's crazy, bro. But yeah, working is usually top of the list of what parents are required to do. Any adult, right? In America, it's just right to do. Go to work so you can make a life for yourself. You can start to create the life that you want. Yeah, working. People like, no, that's just for bills. Look how they do it too. They're being open about it. Like, no, your work money is only for bills. They on some weird stuff today, bro, with the parents. It's just my opinions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely listening. Everywhere somebody can encourage us to watch our kids more and pay attention to how times are changing, we're paying attention. Uh of course the parents of today would have to work. The economy is way different than what it was years ago. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. I'm back, guys. I'm warming up my coffee again. This is a great topic because I know I keep jumping all over the place, but that dream about the toy turning into a spider, I think it meant something. It don't get no clearer than it. Like, how can something that looks just like a regular item turn into something, right? I mean, yeah, physically that seems impossible, but obviously there is a spiritual world. It can't turn into something, but it could have very well been that to begin with. But yeah, anyways, I feel like ain't nothing wrong with special schools for people with gifts or that are a little different when it comes to maybe learning abilities and any type of abilities. But I definitely think they're needed. It's just like then the problem wouldn't be over because you still have to watch them because now there would be more, it would definitely need to be more facilities and communities with security. And that's crazy that you literally have to weed out like the gifted like that and abilities and special people all of a sudden because people call themselves can't learn to live with them or coexist with them. You would need those type of people that can sense what they call it like a sixth sense. We'll reference to this stream later, but I can say at any time I believe people with a sixth sense that can feel any other level of feelings in this world other than the five that we say only people can feel are special people and you need them around. If you're unfamiliar with something, how do you know it can't be dangerous? Like, you don't know until you know. Um, Nobody should have to tell us though. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the devil is after our kids, and that's crazy. If God is using a psychic to come out and say it, like, what more do you need to see? You want to look at what they are. That God know how people are. When you should actually be listening to the message, or you should actually, cause yeah. What is an active listener if you're not even listening? You're cutting out what's being said because of who's saying it. The world been like that for a long time. That's why I say most things we needed to hear, they're just quotes now to the person. It ain't like they always gave reverence to what a person said or was saying in a speech or openly until they're gone. Why is that? You know what I'm saying? And then their quotes to 100 years later still be getting attention. But when they was saying it, wasn't nobody listening. It's just how it is sometimes. Oh, it's very well known to happen to prophets though. It be so bad they be even attacking the person that's bringing the message. Like, if you don't see that with prophets, we've been seeing that with prophets though. I'm talking about it's biblically recorded, bro. This ain't something you can just jump in at the last minute and say, what was happening to all of us? That might be true too, but definitely with prophets, bro. Like, I ain't read about one yet didn't suffer a very deep persecution, like against a very life type of stuff. All because a prophet's message is known to come straight from God, though. A false prophet would only be the opposite. Because who would want to take a word from God and make it their own? It can't be your own. You didn't create it. You didn't make that message. You didn't even think to warn people about a certain thing. Prophets have. They've been known to do that. In different religious studies, they actually, teach and follow the guidance of different prophets that once existed. That's how real this is. Even religions all over the globe believe in prophets. I can tell you that right now. But I never known one that didn't have to give a severe warning. And if it was a real severe warning, actually endure great persecution. And I don't even think it'd be about the warning. It just be what they saying. Like, they want to make it about the person. It was never about the person, bro. Usually the people hear the message and it moved them in a way where that's that's their response. Like, They say everybody in town mocked Noah. They was just laughing at a person who was building, not only building something, but building something to prepare something he believed was coming. Ain't that something? The story of Noah is one of the most controversial stories still today for a reason. The same thing he was building for something that he only by his whole self felt like it was coming. Because that's the thing. When God tell you something, he don't even tell everybody. When he tell a prophet, he told that prophet, not everybody. So they probably feel it different, or they seen it different, or they seen it in a way where it felt so real. If they could pull everybody in it, they would. And that's a part of what prophets, real prophets, we're not talking about false prophets right now. Real prophets, that's a part of what they're kind of required to do. I couldn't make you see what I saw, but if I could pull you in this vision with me, that's what I'm going to try to do. And that comes in a form of warning, like you actually trying to tell somebody what God said, what God showed you, what God let you smell, everything. Because if they could have been there and felt it too, wouldn't they be acting like you about it with some? That's why prophets are prophets. Maybe God feel like he can't even show everybody everything. Because people get the same reaction. If you show one person, look how people respond. Like, come on, bro. But they promise that they're on a level of intellect where they are compatible enough to receive a whole truth about something at every given time in their life. Wouldn't it start with yourself, not with some religion? The truth about yourself. Just you. Just you. Like, who are you? Don't even talk about religion yet. Who are you? Then you look at who you are without religion, or who you are with religion. Are you a different person? Or why else do you consider yourself religious? Is it just a cultural practice, a passed down tradition? Or who are you? That's what some people have asked themselves, right? And usually starting with that question, who am I? You don't even mean offense to nobody. Like, you just want to know who you just want to know who you are, bro. Like, what do people not understand about that? They're like, well, what does that have to do with God? I mean, I guess God would lead he can, if he want to, he can lead somebody to a deep desire to, even if they never desired that before. Like, who am I? Who am I? Who am I without people? Who am I around people? Because they say if you two different things, you're fake. If you're around people, how you are in public versus how you are at home. That is so stupid. I said, when do we start getting this deep about it? Of course, you're going to carry yourself like a put. They have whole laws about public, bro. It's called public indecency. You can get a whole ticket for that. Being outside in certain states with a beer in your hand is actually against the law. If it's not, it can't be like an open container. It has to be in a bag or something. But in certain states, you cannot go in public with just like drugs outside. I don't know what this new stuff is. I heard in some of these places, the man, it's crazy, bro. They do the drugs right outside today. In their cars, on the streets, in the corner, on the street corners. They outside. But I do know public indecency is a whole, I wouldn't say it's a crime, but it's a penalty. You can get a ticket for it. But people sitting up here talking about why you different in public. First of all, public versus at home should be two different things. Like, it ain't a million people outside you got to say hello to in your home. Most people, this is why they get dressed. They brush their teeth, wash their face. I mean, they do that for them first, but I'm sure they do it when they're about to go in public. That's stupid. Versus at home where you might just put on some pajamas and have a comfortable day or night. People totally have always dressed different for public. Public is just a whole nother setting. So now I'm making it deeper when you talk about those public quote unquote religions versus those private ones. That's something too. I was just watching I stumbled across it. They're just starting to get more open as far as the release of information about these different, I don't know, like these different weird uses. People, these weird new uses. Y'all got all these new uses and experiments that you're doing with the kids, but you haven't found nothing yet that like better the youth. Like, why are we seeing so much suicide increases, for example, in the youth communities alone? Uh-uh. Uh-uh. In the youth communities by themselves. For those that didn't know that, just go check the statistics. It's more young people than it is older people these days, like actually harming themselves. It's really sad, but it's a real statistic. This been this way too, like for the past 13 to 15 years. And they want to just blame the parents of today. That doesn't mean that I guess over the age of 30 are not like self-harming, but definitely a lot of youth. And when I first seen any type of evidence of it, like in youth today, I wondered to myself, like, where do they learn these practices? Because that's not even a religious practice. I guess in some cultures it is. I gotta take that back, because yeah, they do whole tattooing practices, branding practices, cutting practices. Once again, the followings and teachings of Christ do not teach you how to cut yourself anywhere, harm yourself anywhere at all, actually. If you're suffering from depression, that's not something the teachings of Christ or the believers or anything in the Bible say to do that. So I was just wondering, where did they said on the internet, all these different trends, crazy trends and stuff. Do youth see these stuff on TikTok? And then what are they doing? They practicing it at home. Some of it is scary too. Y'all don't even know. They got challenges where they can call ghosts in the house. Think some they said was hurting kids. They was doing something where they count to a number and close their eyes. Like, it's crazy. You don't even need any items. It's just stuff they do. They learn from other kids. They learn it from other kids, or they see it somewhere on TikTok or a movie. We got to be careful with those movies too. That's what people mean. People be like, I can let my kids watch whatever. It's like, what people are talking about though is certain movies may show quote unquote explicit content, and that doesn't always mean like sexually related. Y'all do know that, right? Explicit content is not just sexually related content. Let's start there. Explicit content could be, it's a horror movie. It could be not just the whole gory, bloody parts, but also, let's say they're practicing something or they're dabbling in something. Because we know with most horror movies, it's something that opened the door. And it's just the movies. It either opened the door or they moved somewhere where the presences were already prevalent. Looking at real life, it's true. Like, it's crazy how you can just give somebody a person accepting an item. I'm gonna just say an open door. Even in movies, it shows us if somebody went and played with a Ouija board, or they found a in the basement or the attic. Dream, get up here and sit down. Thank you. Yeah. They find an old dresser drawer, an old chest. Tell me that don't be happening in the horror movies. Yep. I'm just trying to give an example again, but most times when it's like a evil, dark, demonic presence, it's some kind of door that was open. I think the more knowledge you have about something, the less you fear it. That's why I'm making it imperatively my mission to make sure people know that. You better off knowing a door was open somewhere than just feeling defeated by it. You know what I mean? Because you never know why they be trying to tell you something wrong with you not just letting your kids pick their own friends, or being selective about who you're letting them entertain or letting entertain them. You better be selective about that with your children, because see, children come from different households. You can see it don't be nothing personal to their kid or to their family, but you just might be like, no, I don't want my daughter being exposed to that at this time. You let your daughter wear belly button rings. I don't want my daughter doing it. It's a whole example. Or I noticed your son play with Pokemon cards. I don't let my son do that. I didn't even want my son to know Pokemon exists. That's why I didn't buy a TV. I don't buy him Pokemon items. Here you go. Here's a pillow. It always starts, but people try to make it like, I don't know. I would respect a person. Even if they tell me, hey, I don't want my kid playing with your kid, we going to respect it. I ain't got to know why. They really be shocked if they test it. But most times, kids love each other. They don't see color. They don't see money status. That's why you can see a kid from a low income community probably be best friends with somebody who went to a way more prestigious school, because kids and young people don't see that. They just see themselves making friends. But then that's where those influences, they rub them off on each other. It's like, look what I do. Look what I practice. Look what I got. That's how it always starts. A doorway. Let's just bring it out. Let's talk about what doorways look like. Because don't you know a person can be a whole door? If a person can be a positive door for you, like a person gets you a good recommendation for a job, or a person is able to get you a recommendation or a referral for a good doctor, see, recommendations are usually a good thing. But then people can be a door in negative ways. So I try to pay attention to that. Like, you just making an offer, but that door is not open unless I accept it. What if I told you I've been on these things though? Really? But like I said earlier, to know something and versus to practice something is two different things. And it'll show in one's life if they begin to practice something, even if they don't wear it outside on a t-shirt or whatever. It shows if you start practicing something. So like I said, some of these things I knew or I had heard were real, but when you actually start practicing faith for yourself or things for yourself, you see what's real. I'm sorry. Or that's why some people, they switch religions, or they in the same one all their life, or maybe they get out of it because they didn't like it. That's what I'm looking at. Who's trying to make people stay committed to if it's just quote unquote religion, why are you trying to make somebody stay committed to that? That's a personal choice. And I don't care which religion it is. We shouldn't be hearing stories. I heard in Nigeria, they're actually like taking the lives of Christians right now, bro. I think the number last I checked was 7,900. That's a lot of people. And no, I do not believe that everybody they slaughtered are Christians. I think that's always some kind of just something they say to be doing stuff. Because why do they have to be that? I say they should be doing a lot to believers to try to convince us that the devil ain't real and God ain't real. When you say that's doing a lot, taking a person's whole life, if what they believe in bother you so much, why are you even, looking at them? But you want us to believe the devil ain't real, God ain't real, bro. That's already happening in modern day time. And it's not the first time in history. Too many slaughterings have happened of certain type of believers. That's why they're fully committed to what they do. They know what all comes in what they do. Real lives have been taken, including Jesus Christ. See, people would teach, oh, God died for us. But when it come to, will you die for God? Then people get quiet. Just know it's a lot of people already doing it. When it comes to, so we already living amidst those times. For all those walking around here calling people fake, don't worry about it. The ones that's really fake, it's gonna show. Cause like that was gonna show anyway. If only a certain group of people are being persecuted, bro. And they come like that Columbine shooting that happened before at a college university. They say the shooter was just going up asking people, "Are you a believer?" And if you said yes, he just took your life. That gotta be scary. I'm just saying, this is not new. There have been stories. So we can never be faking what we do or what we say we profess. Because if a person come to you at any given moment and ask you, I would say, is it their business? Even if I'm a believer, I might want to know why you want to know. They just mad that believers are that sharp now. If I profess to be that, why is that anybody's business? A person can take your identity and tell people who you are, but you can't profess who you are for yourself. No, we're not turning it into that. If a person can say who I am, I can truly profess who I am for myself. That's crazy. You just say that's a fake believer. Let me speak for myself. Let me tell some of my experiences. Let me tell what I know about the history of believers, literally. How they've been stoned, persecuted, and it ain't stopped yet. It really haven't. It really haven't. Noah was one of the most upright men of the land, and he still was mocked. There was persecution that came through Noah's project. That's what we left off talking about. Another prophet. Some people might not consider Noah a prophet, but I'm gonna show y'all how he was a prophet. For all those that say Noah ain't a prophet, he is a prophet. Okay? How you know he even knew how to build things? That's a prophet for you. God literally instructing you all the way through a project like that. It's already been proven. He told you exactly what measurements, what wood to use to literally withstand a whole flood. We believe it. Even with all that divine instruction and divine guidance around him at that time, yep, persecution still came with it. He could have let that distract him. That's all I'm looking at. Like, oh, Noah, you're crazy. Don't you know they called Noah crazy? They really did. The same one they had to knock. They were knocking on the door like, hey, let us in one day. With prophets, that's always known to have happened, bro. Like, they don't, that person's words was so great, they didn't even believe it. That don't mean they wasn't true. Here, you can have that one. I'm just saying what seems to me to be the difference between like what prophets actually suffer. Psychics and stuff have always been more welcome and respected and appreciated. If you ask me, the history of prophets show it. I'm not saying there's never been any persecuted seers, fortune tellers, and stuff like that. But prophets, tell me I'm lying. All the way back in BC, literally BC days, prophets was enduring some things, each and every one of them. Because you never know like who your message is reaching, and then that's just who the message reaches. Like, how do they respond? God never asked us to focus on it. Your command, how you're being used as a vessel at that time, is that getting that message out. Now, sometimes who the message is intentional. I believe that with prophets. Sometimes it's not, because the Bible gonna tell you like how God sent people directly to certain people. They wasn't even on their status or nothing. They wasn't a race, nothing close to it. I believe he's very intentional with the message bringers, but that's his point. Like, why are you even worried about who I'm using to tell you something? Why don't you just believe I'm God? And when I say stop or warn you for something, you just receive it. That's what I think he's been trying to show mankind for a long time. Like, God, no, not that person. I know that didn't come from God. Okay. That's exactly why the world is in the state that it's in too. Cause like, when has that ever changed? Really? Like, I'm trying to get it out. When has that ever changed? Like, the first thing I think what prophets say be so deep, like it be so deep that people natural reaction, like, do you stop and think maybe that didn't come from them? Like, that's why they're called a prophet, a message bringer, a divine message bringer. Yeah, like, how you gonna get mad at the person? How you gonna get mad at the person though? They got mad at Jesus. They got mad at Jesus, bro. Some of the stuff he would respond or prophesy to some people. He also had to give. The thing about believers and what is taught in the teachings of Christ is that more than one gift works within the gift. Like, more than one gift works at any given time. You might see a vision. You might give a prophecy. You might be used to bless somebody like an angel. You know what I'm saying? You bless somebody with $5. That ain't got nothing to do with prophecy. Unless somebody had told somebody gonna bless him with $5. I heard stories like that. Like, somebody told you it was gonna happen, and then it turned around and happened. But you know, these kind of topics aren't popular. I'm just renormalizing them. Nowhere did you see where it just directly said certain disciples, though, those who follow Jesus, were psychics or prophets. That's what's interesting. Even what they were, though, as disciples, and what discipleship was, their ranks were pretty powerful in the spirit. You're chosen. See, it's just levels to it. I'm not saying a prophet is not chosen. We would just automatically assume a prophet is chosen. But what made me think about it is how God had chosen people. He chose to follow him specifically, like ordained to walk with him every day, which were the disciples. They were chosen to witness that word. They were chosen. Imagine being a chosen witness. Most witnesses don't even choose to be witnesses. That's how deep this is. Let's think about what a witness is. It is levels to this. Most witnesses do not choose to be a witness. They're like a natural witness. But when you're chosen to be a witness, that's deep. That's deep. Because it's like, come here, I want you to see something. I want you to see something as I do this. That's what the disciples were chosen to do. I want you to see me turn this 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread to a multitude, to feed a multitude of people. I want you to see me touch this man's eyes right here that can't see, and me touch him, and he can see. Like, they were chosen for that. Don't knock that down anymore, Boone. That's not nice. Here, don't play up here. Yeah, but they were chosen to. I'm just making that part clear. And I believe all levels of seers are chosen in different ways. Yeah. I'm just saying, have anybody else noticed that? Like, if you read about different prophets in the Bible, they suffer great persecution. It wasn't just no life of gold and riches and women all around them every day. They're too busy prophesying. But when you're chosen to go speak to somebody, right? Well, let's say you're already a prophet, but God shows you a specific person that he would like you to deliver a message to. Most prophets do it. I guess they thought making technology and modernizing everything was just going to alleviate all the prophets from the earth, because it's like trying to tell God, we don't need your knowledge. We got Google. That's crazy. We don't need your knowledge. We got Siri and Alexa now. It's like telling God, we don't need your psychics and seers. We got other ways now that we can see things, you know. Why would that just automatically erase the existence of what's naturally real? I don't think it's any level of technology that's ever going to erase a ghost, a demon, an angel, I've already thought about it. There's no level of technology that's gonna do that, bro. Here, here, eat it, eat one. Okay, go in there, Boom. But if you want to know a false prophet versus a prophet, right? We had this run, I guess, at one point where it was accepted in society for these crusades to happen, and these people would be known as prophets when they travel. Like, people know they was paying tickets and everything to go to the, what do you want to call it, a show? Here. I'm not being funny. They would like pay to go see certain preachers or who they would think is a prophet, which I already thought is out of line. You don't pay to come and get a message from God. Period. Where did y'all see them do that in the Bible? But y'all want to dictate who false prophets is. You can do that, but make sure you know what you're talking about. Ain't nobody ever had to pay to come see me ever, bro. When I'm speaking a message of the word of God, they ain't got to pay me with a like. They ain't got to pay me with a heart, a subscription. I think that's saying something. So I'm going to stay on topic with this for a second. I've never heard of that, but I'm not going to mock it. I just say, huh? Well, they said, well, baby, your gifts make room for you. So yeah, a preacher can charge. I'm not talking about offering and tithes. I'm talking about actual prophets that used to travel, and people like, yeah, such and such coming to town. You know that ain't right, bro. They better cancel me. We need somebody to stand up and speak the truth at this point, bro. Like, you really want real truth speakers? But you think you finna keep all these ministries and churches rocking? It don't matter what I say. I'm looking at it how God might. You really think God finna let all these establishments stay open, but you have a part in playing and keeping my true speakers out of the loop? How did we think that was gonna go? Like, really, bro? When it's just crazy, bro. Like, y'all think people be talking about preachers be taking people money. I heard what people saying on it, but tithes and offering, I do understand that part of segments at any church. They're talking about people paying. That's going to another level when you are paying to come hear somebody speak. Now, if it's a public speaking engagement, we've always known public speakers usually get paid to travel. It depends on what their messages are about. It depends on what a public speaker speaks about, but I think even them, they just accept donations. Like, they don't charge places to go speak. Hey, boo boo. Hey, thank you. Get your bears. Pick your bears up. It must be true. When have we heard of people paying to go hear somebody speak a word from God, bro? Ever. Crazy just for court settings too. Like, I heard they cost money. Somebody ends up paying, like, for every hearing, for every part of court. Ain't none of that free. So yes, I believe prophets and prophecies deserve the same respect they used to get. You know, like I said, it seemed like it's always a persecution that come against it, like a resistance. But the real word of God, that's how you gonna know it's that. Cause who gonna fight so hard? Who gonna fight Allah? and come at it with all their resources, all their manpower and everything. Who does that for a lie? But for the truth, this has been known. People like literally the truth. A prophecy ain't never been known to be a lie. Usually when a one of them speak, I told y'all what the confirmation is. Somebody comes back and confirms it. It's dead again?
Yeah. I think the charger's in there. I think
No, it's right there.
Yeah, no, mine's
Y'all see how I had to pause it right after I say certain stuff? What I said is we've never known people to have to go pay for the truth, bro. Like pay to hear a prophetic word from God. It's like they get mad that I'm saying it. It's never been known, bro. God will, and he will send his prophets. What do you think the story of Jonah was about? And yeah, they don't like to consider Noah a prophet, but anybody who can build something to save him and his family before destruction came for everybody else, I would say that's a prophet too. Period. And it ain't even no offense to the preachers like that. Like they be getting to these high level ranks. It's too late, bro. We already seen them do it. What I'm saying is when people come out of a area or religion or a high rank of anything, trying to speak about just maybe their story, like, oh, this why I'm not the CEO no more. This why I quit that. Really, they don't have to say nothing. But nobody was saying nothing when these prophets would travel and people paying money at crusades just so they can come and get healing. Like, oh, prophet such and such coming to town. I promise the church was paying them people to, like, I understand maybe picking up a love offering, like, hey, thank you for coming and seeing us. Because I think they would do that for Jesus sometimes too. Like, I bet you Jesus didn't take the money though. The real Jesus Christ, I bet you he did not take money. When people try to give him money after healing them, let's talk about it. People associating money with work and with all of this and all. Let's talk about that. Why suddenly with spiritual work people paying money? Maybe in the spiritual world that's not even like respected. Only certain entities would try to tie themselves to money anyway. I was just saying, when it comes to the spirit and body of Christ, it's never been taught that way. Ever. Oh, so back to what I was saying. Like, you could be a queen or a king. It didn't matter. One of God's humble servants and prophets, he would send them to those kind of people too. Literally, like, either if it was writing a letter or them traveling on ship or however they had to get there on horses and camels, one of God's prophets, when he told them to go speak, yeah, the person didn't have to pay for it. He sent them. He's sending them to you absolutely free. He gonna take care of his profits so they get to where they need to go probably, but you know what I'm saying? It's never been known like, yeah, let us get some money and give this person. So I think everybody see what I'm saying in a nutshell. It's totally different with people in other spiritual works. That's a way that you're still separate. And then you'll see if somebody trying to do a spiritual work, because I had to look at that in my life too. And you feel like people are trying to stop an avenue of money that you can make. It didn't do nothing but help me see myself anyway. Because if what I'm doing is real, my blessings would come from God and not from like, oh, let me give you a donation. Let me donate this and give you that and help you build what you building. Where did you read Noah needed help? Even if it took Noah longer, I'm starting to believe God actually held that rain. The story of the ark was more of a story about Noah's faith. Y'all like, how that's selfish to say. People died. Well, it was more about Noah's faith. Like, can you obey an instruction that I'm giving you? More than it was about a time frame. I don't even think Noah knew when the flood was coming. It was all just about obedience. Who was willing to obey? Who was willing to listen? You can't obey something you didn't hear, right? But who was willing to listen to the truth that a whole flood was coming, even if it had never happened? And like, that's like somebody saying, hey, Alaska's gonna melt in 5 years. You know, people might not believe that person. These days they might believe them because, like, you know, global warming and all that stuff really been happening. It's really real. I'm warming up my coffee. The story of Noah was more about his own beliefs, his own faith. But I was just asking, where did Noah need people help at? They needed his help though. But right before it was all over with, it's crazy. Now they like, I'm Noah's son friend. Everybody was trying to get in the ark. It was too late. Because when God was using his prophet, all them people had all them days to actually help him build it faster. Don't you think the more help he would have had, that's what's crazy. I know God probably would have had a change of heart. Like, yeah, let all those people that help you on the ark. But God already knew them people wasn't going to want to help. But they was the first ones in line to laugh and mock this man and discourage his project, you know? But that's just crazy. I've never known prophets. Noah had a bucket sitting outside asking for donations. Please help me build this ark. I ain't ready yet. That's the thing. When God is using a prophet, oh yeah, he's going to supply all their deeds for the task that he's asking them to obey him about. And Moses didn't need. That's the thing about God. People like, where do they need some money to do what he told them to do? We try to limit him like that today, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, they can't be like the prophets back then if they ain't got no money. Well, you would make us just like them. If anything, we ain't got no money. Like, why try to stop? Since this is modern day time. But you wasn't stopping the prophets that was receiving monies at the churches talking about they coming to heal people and cast demons out of people. I don't know. I mean, I might want to pay somebody who cast a demon out of me, but why would you even charge me for that? That's crazy. Until y'all can tell me we fixed that issue, I don't want to hear it, bro. Okay, but if a priest was to be offered some money for casting a demon out of a person, would you stop him from taking it? That's crazy. I would say the person needs an exorcism too. The person who stopped the priest money, they need an exorcism too, bro. Because why the priest can't be blessed for how he just helped somebody? I'm asking, like, ain't that evil to stop a priest for if a person want to pay them because they just cast a demon out of them, and they show them the footage, like, look, you were possessed as hell. I would say me as a priest, I'm trying to think about it. I don't think I would take money. Like, if they try to give me money, Like, oh, Teddy Sherry, your prayer helped me through something, or your deliverance serving ritual helped me. It really broke the demon off of me. I wouldn't want to take their money. Yeah, people don't want to talk. I guess this was their crafty way of see if you make it like there's a bigger issue, then you can't talk about it. But what's a bigger issue than that? People taking up money. Like I said on another stream though, this will apply to everybody, but I do believe judgment will start in communities like that, like religious communities. People talking about judgment gonna start in the church. No, judgment gonna start with all religious communities. Any community that was saying they main goal was to help people become better people, and it was something else, why would you just think God was talking about the churches? And it's more religions than just churches, bro. It really is. There's temples, all mosque, whatever they call them, all that exists. Okay, I lost her. Where's your blanket? We lost it again. You can help me. Hey, where's her blanket? I just said that's my opinion. Like, judgment is going to start in the church. Anywhere that could have been helping people, that's what they were supposed to be doing. And you don't need no money to do that. Help people be delivered from real bad demons. I don't know. This is bad, bro. Like, what I'm starting to see about life for a second. Any religion you could be a part of, a person can have a demon walking through the door. They can have a whole generational curse on them. How would you know? Did you get to know them? Well, we know in like Catholic religions, they actually do have like confessions. They can schedule a confession. I just have never done it, actually. I've never done a confession session. I don't know if it would help me or not, but I'll never mock it. I think even at confessions, like, they're not required to pay no money just to go have a confession session with the priest. I'm sure with their religion, there's a whole reason that they do that they have that. They need to bring it back. I think it's more people than we know need those confession sessions, period. But like I said, what's deeper, being a witness that you wasn't even trying to be, or being a chosen witness? They like, come here, I want you to see this. Like, a person literally chooses you. That is crazy. Not saying that about God, but I'm saying in real life too. People be out here whole selecting people they want to see what they doing. And you didn't even ask to be a witness. You just trying to mind your business. I practice it more and more every day. Like, mind my business, mind my business, mind my business. People trying to force you to be a witness to anything they got going on, bro. Like, the only person I'm gonna let do that to me is God. Anything else, I just happen to witness it. That's what a witness is. And then with confession, that's just confessing what you witnessed, or what you witness yourself do, or what, man, priests have a hell of a job, if you ask me. They sit up and hear. Oh yeah, for those that didn't know, those confessions are about confessing sins, like maybe sins you want to get off your chest, off your mind. That's what those are for. They were never just there for priests to sit up and hear everybody business. That's why I say you can sit up and see that certain positions ain't for everybody, bro. You actually need to have some type of spiritual rank about yourself, cause like, and we've been seeing this with more jobs than just priests and professions in the world, where they are not supposed to be telling people business. They have their titles for you have the certifications, titles, license, degrees. That's why people felt like they can trust you. You're sitting there as a professional. Like, why would they think they can't trust you with their secrets? I feel like some people have jobs that they just don't need, bro, because you're not understanding that first about your job. You're not even supposed to tell certain secrets. You're not some religious cult. You're an actual employee somewhere. And I'm sure you have stipulations you're supposed to be following. You see what I'm saying? And like obvious positions and careers, you're not supposed to be telling people business. Ask a priest. They're not supposed to be telling people what you came and confess. If you come in a confession room and want to confess your sins, that's between you and the priest. Now, I haven't heard a story yet where a person is suing the priest for going to tell their business. Not yet. That's crazy, bro. Was it a confession? If they do tell your business, are they wrong? They don't sign NDAs or nothing. So some people really take spiritual things serious. You want us to take it serious only when it's a ghost or demon in our house? Or should we take it serious when we're telling you, oh, okay, I believe in confessions. I'm coming here to say all my sins. Now the person thinks they're free. But then they hearing next week, the whole town. I actually saw a movie like that. It was a crazy movie. I don't know. I cannot remember right now what the name was but it was something where the sheriff ended up having to come investigate what was going on at home because the priest was actually the stepdaddy or something. And he was trying to hide his kid, and it just got weird. The police should never have to come into church, first of all, unless they just want to come to church. They shouldn't have to come to the church. Stuff been going on out here with people religious practices, bro. They've been having to come right around the churches. You know, churches is where people come for help. Churches, organizations, charities, and mostly it ain't just people. People come with their kids. You got relief programs that help immigrants, they help the disabled, and they help just low-income people. Those are the main places you've always seen people, like people that really needed help. Why would a person just doing well in life come to church, really? Why would they even think about religion? That's the thing. A rich man, even the Bible say that it's harder for him to gain a relationship with God because he's so busy with his richly life. He didn't say he hate rich people. He just said it is harder for me to get close to those kind or for them to desire a relationship with me as God because they live such a different life. They actually start believing they don't need me. It hurts my heart to know that. You know what I'm saying? It's a scripture if I choose to believe it. And that's not me just being a Bible fanatic. I looked at life and said, wow, this seems to be true. Rich people are with their lives. Like, not all of them have a second to stop and tell somebody, God bless you, or I hope a miracle happened for you. They're not worried about that. They're busy cleaning their Ferraris and trying to build up more wealth for the future generations. But there have been great money holders, if you will, kings, people with high positions that also love God. You know, haven't I said that on my streams when I do my teachings? I said that God have people anywhere that the devil do. This is 2025. The devil sends somebody in the hospital. God probably has somebody right there too. And that's what I love about God. Don't get me started. But yeah, this is a new time. Just about everywhere, even if that person ain't just proclaiming every day like, yeah, I'm one of God's own. He have them there. That's the problem. What's the problem with one of God people being in the midst? They ain't got to come in there and tell you they of God, but the rest of y'all thought all of us is just doctors in here. Some doctors are doctors, and God helped them to get down that path. God helped them through their educational journey. God helped them through their struggles when they became a doctor. But you know, people do obtain things differently in life. Don't they? Some people, you know, their parents paid for college. Some others, they had to work their way through college. Others, some of us, we still got student loans, debt that we're trying to pay. Either way, how did it not mean y'all all had the same goal? Anyways, I'm disappointed that we became a people that you had people already seen it. Already seen it. Like, I didn't want to start naming names, but it was some prophets out there. Well, people calling themselves prophets. So they'll put up a flyer talking about, yeah, I'm going to be in Jamaica for a crusade, or they just be traveling the world. And the thing about these crusades, yeah, they're coming to speak or they're coming to give a message, but they also would bring like holy water or holy cloths, like these different things that people could quote unquote buy. They also would, people would just rush to see these guys. I said, now they out of line if they buying tickets. But it was okay for them to call it conferences or revival conference. Because when you call it that and not just church, then yeah, maybe a person would be convinced to buy a ticket. You making it like it's a show. Hey, we're having a healing show. I mean, something like a healing show sounds great, but why would I have to pay to get in there? I might be one of the people need to come for healing, you know? And then who's promised that even though I come to this crusade of 10,000 people for healing, that I'ma even get chosen to come on stage for you to touch me? I ain't even trying to be funny. They let so many preachers and prophets, quote unquote, do this already. Then when a new generation coming up, we just supposed to believe everybody a false prophet. Yep, I said it. The new generation. If you just 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it was accepted in society for prophets to travel and touch people and they could be healed or delivered from demons, why would you wait till the new generation here and say, no, they don't have the same power. Ain't no way they can do that. They just got to be false prophets. Like, come on, bro. So we false prophets. What was y'all doing 20, 30, 40 years ago then? Because I saw that on TV. Y'all was traveling, coming to different churches, talking about you healing people. Or a person could come in line and they say, what's your problem? And she say, oh, the devil's been attacking my money. And you just touch her and then a lady writes you a letter. I'm not saying some of those stories wasn't real, but this is what it used to look like. They might come on TV with a 1-800 number talking about call for prayer. You call for prayer. Then the next week, they'll read all the testimonies, supposedly flooding in from all over the world. Thank you for your holy water. My whole life changed. Thank you for your prayer cloth. I just want people to know you can make your own prayer cloth. You can make your own holy water too. Literally. And it's what you believe. Like, it's crazy where you put your belief of faith and you actually believe it, something happens. I don't even think it's the cloth or the holy water. But I'm not saying people can't believe in it, because, you know, the Catholic Church is very much so believe in holy water. I need to go. I ain't lying. I've been interested in getting me some, but I do know I can make it myself. Like me, if I were to do that, let me tell people how it would look though. Now, I don't know what they were doing with their holy waters and oils, but I would say the proper way, like, yeah, you just take something and pray over it. It's like the intention that you're putting into that object. You could take something. I wouldn't just pray over it though. I would be more vigilant about what I'm doing. For example, if I know I'm finna create some holy water, I myself need to be clean and make sure no evil spirits are around me while I'm praying for the holy water. Why would you have a person full of devils pray over some holy water? What are you really doing when the person starts using the holy water, whoever you give it to? So, like, I would probably go on a fast for 7 days, 3 days. Maybe like a drink fast where I'm not eating no food, clean out my whole system. And then I would pray over the holy water. I would probably have written down certain scriptures out the Bible, or why would you call it holy water? What are you doing with it? I'm really disappointed about that. See, they already interviewed some of them. What's that old man name? Those, I hate to say it, but that's more what a false prophet. That's always very evident. Why would God have you pay money to come and hear somebody speak, or to get healing, or have somebody pray for you? Period. They even asked that pastor. They did an interview. They said, "Why do you have jets?" I can't remember which one it was. He had jets, fancy cars. He even had a big house. He had a mega church. He had mega churches in several states. Mm, mm, mm. And I want to encourage people with our young people. You know how they can be passionate about something, so you be looking to get them into the door, I guess, with their careers. Come on now, if you have a talented 12-year-old, 10-year-old, a good parent would want to further their talent and maybe look for other opportunities for them. But it kind of make the parents have to be more vigilant today, because you're just seeing more truth come out about these places that were supposed to be so kid oriented or kid friendly. Literally, from modeling agencies to TV shows to sports. Because here's the thing about it. You could go to one of those business meetings trying to get your child a deal for singing, rapping, dancing, any other talent they might have. And then let's say, because too many are just talking about the people who take those deals. But let's say, I just say be careful out here, because it's like, even if you don't take the deal, we just talked about doors being open though. Usually spirits and evils and entities need some kind of doorway. They have to be invited. I would say telling somebody they can't come in is still inviting it. Like, if you just got the door hole open, that's why open doors can be a danger in the spirit. If you just go ahead and shut it and lock it and know that you done with that, then you know nothing ain't coming through that door. But like, some people, they just be relaxed, and I believe this in the spirit too. They don't take things serious. So maybe they believe in it, but they didn't take it serious. That's what I'm saying. But that doesn't mean you didn't believe in it. And then I would say a door that's open and you didn't intentionally open it, but you didn't intentionally close it either. That's still an open door. You saying, "Oh no, don't come in here." I mean, the door was open. Why wouldn't it feel welcome? You know what I mean? Whatever it is, even if it's a person. That's the value of locked doors, closed doors, sealed doors, bolted doors. In the spirit, with some of this stuff, you need the door locked, closed, locked, and bolted. with safe locks and everything. Yes, I was just saying, you need to make sure a door is all the way closed though. They just say that spirits come through doors, but we do have to watch that with our kids, because they don't know any better. You know what I'm saying? Unless we're teaching them, they do not know that they can intentionally or unintentionally open doors to things from other realms. Apparently so. If an adult could do it, if it's possible with an adult, it's possible with a child. Here's your meat. That's not scary to people. And that's pretty much what that lady was talking about in that interview. Doors being open and watching those doors, you know what I'm saying? How they're more prevalent actually during the internet age. I don't care what nobody say. It's like the internet looks like a big ass spider web. It's up to you if you get tangled and trapped in it. And what's crazy, they call it the World Wide Web. They literally call it that. And that's what it's starting to feel like. Like, so they can tell us later, well, we told you it was a web. It was your choice if you wanted to get weaved in it. You know what I mean? Sorry, y'all. That's my coffee pot. They'll probably like, how much you gonna drink? How much coffee? I might go a minute with this stream because it is important. This whole topic I'm talking about, it's very important. From the point that it was a psychic that did the interview to the point that the occult groups are very real, satanic groups. We don't mind them existing. We just wondering why they always have to show so much hate or against a certain group of people. I'm gonna be up. Anybody that's up tonight looking for an interesting stream, you're going to find it here at You Will Make It TV. See, I might miss a day or two before I do a new posting, but I always come back. And I want to make sure that my topics are very insightful, where I'm not just going to be on here like wasting my breath. But did y'all hear me about that? It's Morgan, what does WWW stand for? No, just www. Like at the beginning of every website, it say www. I'm telling you tonight, it means World Wide Web. That's the 3 letters of the beginning of every website. That is so scary, bro. www, www, www. It's like you're literally agreeing to join that web. And some things today, you don't have a choice. Did you know some job applications, they don't even have papers no more? When we used to look for a job, you could just go in a place and ask for an application. The way it is today, it'll be like, go to www. It's always gonna start with them 3 letters. World Wide Web. I might tell the job, hey, I'm done with the web, bro. Y'all don't have no other way that I can apply. Nope. Everything is like this now. You're either applying on an app or some type of web platform. And the World Wide Web logo, for those that haven't seen it, you can find it right on your keyboard, whether the keyboard is on a computer, a laptop, a phone, or a tablet. The World Wide Web logo is literally like they draw it as the world, which is a circle. It's just a circle. But then the middle have these lines. When y'all see that logo, that emoji, that's the emoji symbol for the internet. A circle with webs going through it. It's crazy, right? How many of us think about that every day? Just know every time you use, because some people think they're better because they're on, like, oh, I don't use certain apps. Speaking of that, I heard before I could even go check out the T app and find out what it was about, I already saw negative stories about it. Number one, it's breaking up households. Like, it's supposed to be an app where people can secretly expose people. I'm just telling y'all flat out what this, because when somebody say, I need the tea or I got the tea, they're usually talking about something messy. And what's crazy, the tea is never about them. It's usually when somebody say, I got the tea, or they sipping a tea, it's about somebody else. Ain't that crazy? Like they've even what's that called? Perverted tea. Tea used to be a nice thing to drink. You have a tea party, or you just do tea time. Now when they say tea time or I got my tea, it's about some gossip or some mess, bro. Boy, has the world changed. But yeah, I saw that though. The rumors about that app are not good. Oh yeah, cause I think I saw like one person already lost their life over that app. I do encourage everybody right here at You Will Make It TV right now. If you have that app, delete the account, delete the app, and just stay off of it. We were doing fine in the world without stuff like T app. People have always cheated on their spouses, their girlfriend, boyfriend. They were always doing sneaky stuff. And I always did have a problem with those kind of people, in my opinion, that are quick to like, they just always want to be the one to expose somebody. It'll never go away though. Uh, there's in every period of history in the world, there's always a person like that, y'all. It don't matter which, if it was the Victorian era, the Greek mythology era, what period of history it was. It's usually always somebody who likes to gossip because they want to come after the freedom of speech all of a sudden and all the podcasters and everybody what they want to say. But usually there was always somebody who they called them record keepers. They weren't really gossipers, but they were somebody who keep track of like things that were going on in history. You know, those have always existed. I guess you would call them record keepers, or I forgot what's another word, but yeah, recorders. Dang, I can't even think of the word, but yeah. Thank you, boo. Thank you, poo poo. Sit down. Finish your food. Are you still eating it? Here, get your pillow. Let me help you. Morgan, throw me her pillow. Is it by you? This is serious. I can't believe really this ties into the topic though. As y'all saw the thumbnail, the title. Why would like ex-Satanists, occultic, why would people come out like that? Because I got they back. I believe when stuff like that happen, that's God. He can use a psychic, he can use a motorist, he can use a firefighter, anybody he wants to. When they have a story, just listen. Those are somebody experienced in that religion or that practice or that background. And most psychics, they're pretty experienced, even if it's not something they do as a service or a work. Like, they're pretty experienced in what they experience. So she had came out and was just like warning parents, not just parents, she just said children. Like, it's certain cults of people coming specifically after children. We should have known that. We're not shocked because now when you look at the internet, it just make you wonder why the hell they were so quick to make these advancements in the first place. Everybody talking about advanced technology. Like, yeah, is it really all that great? How many victims lost their lives versus they would still be here if the internet didn't exist at all? How many people, literally lives were ruined? I don't know if the question matters or not, but it could. How many people's lives were literally ruined? Their bank accounts, their lives, their home lives, their children, their mental health, like literally how many people, because that's what make us see how good the internet is or not. Is it more of a positive benefit for people versus a negative benefit? I would say the internet is not all that positive if you have more numbers of people that have actually been hurt, ridiculed, like just abused in some way, versus had the internet existed at all. I heard some people are not here today just from unaliving themselves. Like literally, they unalived themselves over something they seen on the internet or something somebody said on the internet or something like that. Literally, some of these stories, It was just things about a person that they was trying to keep secret. But let me tell you, it's called World Wide Web. You hear me? World Wide Web. It's that word web for me though. I don't know which word it is. World wide or web. The word web for me though, that's deep. A web is always like what a spider used to trap its prey. It's crazy though. Oh, I mean, webs are used for positive reasons too. Like they throw them out. It used to be called net casting. They throw it out into the ocean or the river to gather fish so that a village could eat that night. That's a more positive example of what a web could help you do. But other than that, webs have always been known to be associated with trapping something, someone, somewhere. They got booby traps too, where they use a web, some kind of web net that the person could get trapped in a forest, or it's just crazy. Webs have always been known to be associated with traps. So, just to remind everybody, like most things people do are with their device today. Even if that device is a smartwatch, it's weird. Like devices are from small to great today. You name a person that use their phone, they not gonna tell you they use it once a week. But I'm finna start being like that. Like, why not just keep it put up? Just use it. I've already thought every theory possible. Like, how can I live my life without this phone? Without just one phone. Just for the average life some of us live, you need 2 or 3 phones. I say everybody need a backup phone. Every adult, yeah, they need a backup phone. Because the way this stuff is set up, if you lose one phone and you don't have your passwords written down somewhere, you have now lost a whole lot to your life. Maybe photos, videos, screenshots, emails. And it's like, it's time that we look at that as the truth. It's really truth. Like, people's whole lives are tied to their phones today. They look up their life insurance, medical insurance. You can look up your chart, your whole medical chart these days, right there with your device. If you ask a person to see their medical chart and they can't show you on their phone, really something is wrong. Either they're not going to the doctor or they don't have a phone, because you really can bring up your medical history just with a phone today. Just with a phone, you can look up your whole medical history. You can look up the news, everything. So how would you convince me that our whole lives are not tied to our phones today? You might as well be your phone. People have it while they driving. They don't have to make whole laws like, hey, get out the phone while you're driving. Because, like, how many people do we think have lost their lives to that too? Just somebody texting or on their phone while they driving. I'm really gonna go deeper in on this topic with some commentary and reaction. To be honest, I'm waiting on my toddler to finally tire herself out. But I'm just talking, warming up, because topics like these are not popular until somebody have basic real evidence that they can show. Yeah, I really went through this spiritual experience. Like, yeah, that's still happening out here. People waking up with cuts, bruises, or having nightmares that felt so real they felt like they was there. All of those are considered as spiritual experiences. What, to me, you have too many people that have never lived any type of spiritual life in a life, like just even researched about it, trying to tell people who's spiritual and who's not. It's the ones that didn't know God at all. I guarantee you, they ain't even had been interested in getting a relationship with Him. They want to be first in line to speak on those who have a walk of faith with Him. So whether that psychic would have come out publicly and said that or not, I was just giving my opinion that what she said, first of all, in my opinion, is very true, but it shouldn't take God, the universe, anybody using a psychic to watch your kids. But when the instructions get more specific and God is giving you warnings on more of the direction or level of danger it is, because I don't care anything that's more have demonic, satanic, occult tied to it. Yeah, we do need to be careful. Like, I don't like the fact that they're trying to push more of that on our youth and then just go tell all the believers, well, you're not a real believer, so and you can't teach your kids about Christ. But yeah, we can teach your kids about Satanism. We can teach your kids about the occults and the dark arts. The reason I'm not worried about it, because I do feel like that's not ever 100% avoidable. Pretty much the influences that your kids might come across, it's not avoidable. Even if you were to take all devices from them and go more into a Mormon lifestyle and everybody stay in the house all day, you still wouldn't be able to keep every single outside influence away from your child forever. And that's what's beautiful about life. Like, some of us knowing that no matter what our children learn, they one day will have to choose who they want to be. That's going to be up for them to decide. Yet people work so hard day and night to invest what type of knowledge into their kids. They're still going to grow up and become who they want to become. That's why you see people, I think Katy Perry, actually, she's one of those who have that story that she grew up in church, but she actually received a certain type of scrutiny when she came out with a certain song, because, she came from a certain background. And the song is called I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. Now we know that was a hit song, but from where she came from, as far as her own background, she might have got a little backlash, or you know what I'm saying? She might have to hear some things about that. They might have said, is it Katy Perry? Yeah, Katy Perry. She went through that. Y'all should go look at her story a little bit when it comes to her path to fame. But I did kind of listen to that part. Like, she's not the only one. You got a lot of artists face that kind of criticism because of, people don't look at it as working. They automatically. Ray Charles even went through it. They was like, you can't mix church music with secular music. It's actually a real part of Ray Charles' story. But he wouldn't have became who he became. He wouldn't have earned the name he earned. I was talking about Katy Perry, though. I don't even know if you know that, Morgan, but she was raised in church. A lot of these artists, that their music has nothing to do with God. I can tell you that. If anything, it look far from it now. So I understood that part of her story. Sit down. That part of her story, where she did receive criticism, I wouldn't say that's a whole reason to go dark, though. Like, she has her own rights. Once again, I'm not alleging that Katy Perry has gone all dark. What I'm saying is a lot of them, you want to talk about our work and associate our work with what kind of parents we are? You could tell that was an attack from a mile away. When some of y'all was raised in church, and no, your music has nothing to do with God today. At least Whitney Houston, she put out some hits for God. She didn't just go all the way secular. She also she reverenced God in that way. I was able to see that in Whitney Houston life. Like, yeah, God, I might have received all this fame and stardom being an R&B singer, but I'm gonna do a whole album. She got some Christmas songs. So does Mariah Carey. But like, how many of you? A lot of them you wouldn't even been able to tell. Like, they once upon a time. Because I say being a churchgoer and actually being a believer and walking with God is two different things. But you wouldn't even believe some of them was raised in church, what they lyrics be saying. That's why it make you wonder, do they write the lyrics? Maybe it sound like I'm trying to talk about artists. I promise I'm trying to do this segment in a way that I'm not targeting anybody and what they believe and what they do. I just think it's something wrong with I'll get it. Thank you. Thank you. That's a strange time to start doing it. That's why I said I'm gonna just leave it rolling and maybe even cut the camera on, let people start seeing it. That is not normal. And then it'll be only at sporadic moments, like when I'm talking about a certain thing. I can't make this up. like, no, don't talk about it. Like, bro, the truth is already the truth. You're not gonna make me get off live. I'm gonna keep talking, bro. We'll pause this thing as many times because it's called You Will Make It TV. Don't nobody making it, giving up when somebody think they should. I just had to get that out of my system one time because it's very real. You giving up just because somebody said that's enough. You didn't reach your goal yet. We don't want to see you do it. A goal was never about what somebody else want to see. A goal is a personal thing somebody said for themselves. You know what I mean? And I'm glad it's that way. It makes it easier for me to prove what I'm gonna need to prove in a minute. Because a person with no goals, they would have no proof of those goals. They would have no proof of them actually trying to reach those goals. Thank you. Here, come on.
Huh? No.
Yeah. Thank you.
No. This is.
Okay, you want to sit up here?
No.
Well, you're gonna have to pick a spot.
Why does it like?
All the kids have to go to school. Here. Here. Oh. Let me go ahead and, because all my quotes, all the inspirational quotes I did tonight, for those that maybe you didn't get to see them, feel free to tune in to our short section. We did some inspirational quotes and they were all dedicated to goals, like quotes about goals. Because not everybody likes to sit up and listen to my long, boring live streams, but I do inspirational quotes as well. They be like 10 seconds long, y'all. It's just like 10, 15 seconds of your time because a quote has never been too many words. It's a few sentences and you go on about your day. But our quotes tonight were specifically revolved around goals. Quotes about goals. So if you wake up tomorrow morning, you're feeling a little less inspired, anytime this week, anytime for the remainder of 2025, you can tune in to You Will Make It TV. And I promise you, we're going to have some inspirational quotes for you. But like, they're usually about different things. I do quotes about confidence, quotes about goals, quotes about grit. Because that's crazy to make success look one-sided, like, oh, it should just be this way, or it can only happen if you go through this route. I'm sick of the devil, bro. Like, no, Satan, did you forget? Like, people have a plethora of different success stories and how they obtain success. But literally, I think about people like 50 Cent, Kanye West, bro. People that took whole bullets to get where they at, bro. It's it's very real, but that don't mean everybody took bullets. Maybe some of our bullets are different type of bullets. You know what I mean? But not everybody's success story was one straight way. That's really weird. Shout out to Nick Cannon though from You Will Make It TV. I'm still a Nick Cannon fan, no matter what they put out there in the bro. We have seen him do that. He take care of all his kids. Wild and Out is still a very popular sitcom. Okay. And another thing I love about Nick Cannon is when he tells his success story too. I think he went in a car. All he had was his car. People know this. They know that about others too. Like people that stardom and fame is like literally in their destiny, bro. Them the ones you gonna hear with the rawest stories, bro. Cause it's as if others knew that before they did. Or it's why would my phone make that noise right when I said that? But yeah, it's like others knew they were meant to be great before they did. Cause why do they stories be so crazy? If success was meant for them, why they just didn't touch it the first time they attempted it? So we do quotes about that. Just tune into our short section, the shorts column of You Will Make It TV right here on our YouTube channel, and you'll find inspirational quotes. Back to what I was saying, the inspirational quotes tonight though were about goals specifically, because goals, that's a whole like topic in itself. You got long-term goals, short-term goals. Long-term goals, I was saying in my quote earlier that long-term goals are going to take heart. Short-term goals, just a little thinking. You just think it and then, oh yeah, I got to pay the light bill tomorrow. That's a goal. Oh, I got to go do some laundry. That's a goal. Those are like small goals. A short goal is maybe like, oh, I got to have this much money saved up in 3 months. Okay. Long-term goal. Oh, I got to have this building built. I got to have this business built. I want it to be a multi-million-dollar corporation. That's what you call a long-term goal. Or I want my kids to have long-term longevity in their health. I want them to own the family business one day. That's a long-term goal. But I do be thinking people be trying to place their goals on other people, and it's really retarded. That's only normal if it's like a setting where that's normal. Like, come on, bro. If you have a goal for your students and you're a teacher, that's pretty normal. If you have a goal of work safety, a decrease in the percentages of work safety incidents at work, that's a normal, understandable goal that you can have for somebody else. Like, oh, I want my kids to be this when they grow up. Is that a goal for you, or did your kid make that for themselves? But most good parents do have goals that they set. That just doesn't mean it's going to go that way, bro. Like, if it's a long-term goal, why would you expect it to look a certain way, like, immediately? That's the thing about long-term goals. Just, y'all feel free to tune into my quotes. Don't forget to hit the like button over there on any of those quotes that might inspire you. Share them as well. Leave your comments in the comment section. But we do share them daily. And yeah, that's just why I did that. That's what's on my spirit this week. That's the word of the week, goal. That's the inspirational word of the week, goal, GOAL. And there's this new trend where if people see something they like, they say goals. It's just something the young people do today. And they'll be like goals. They see a relationship that looks like a power couple, intimate relationship, and they say, "Ooh, I want that too." They'll say goals. Couple relationship, I want to be like goals. I want that kind of car. Oh, goals. I like that house that person got. Your goals, first of all, should be like oriented around what you want. Why would it be goal? That was always a stupid trend when it started, though. They'll put hashtag goals. I guess it's a way to compliment somebody, but yeah, let it stay that. Don't ever make your goals be oriented around. Ain't that crazy? I ain't the first one to say it, but yeah, why are your goals oriented around what somebody else got? If people don't be telling on themselves, talking about goals, I mean, I'll tell a person, no, don't make your life goals around what mine is, because some of these seasons I be in is just temporary, bro. Unless I tell you it's permanent. Watch who life you talking about goals. You looking at a person life, you don't know how they got what they got. Talking about goals. You don't know how they became that. You might look at a woman's body and say goals, but you really don't know she was born with two body parts. Or you might look at a woman body and say goals, but you didn't know she had to get a BBL. Is you willing to get a BBL? So yeah, you don't let other people's life be goals. But I mean, I guess it was a cute trend while it lasted. Just a little trendy thing that people made popular to holler and chant goals every time you see something you like. I said, well, let me come back around and do some inspiration about quotes about what goals really mean. And because it's like the people have forgotten what somebody with goals even looks like. And then ask that person, is it a short term goal or a long term goal? It's going to show if it's a long term goal. That's the reason why the word long is in it. It's going to take them longer. It's a bigger goal. Bigger goals have never been pretty much apprehended in no short term way. But yep, that's what's happened to people. They all want to reach long term goals, right? In the shortest period of time. That is crazy, bro. That's what's wrong. See, and they normalizing this. That ain't right. Like, oh yeah, you can have this house. What people usually pay mortgage for 20 years, you can have this in 2 weeks. People want to be that special, bro. Like, they look how my phone ding. Come on with the confirmations then. That mean I need to keep talking. First of all, y'all need to stop it. Since when did are people even reaching milestones at the time that some of these people say they reached it? Since when? Well, they started touching the peaks of longer term goals. Wait, well, let me say it like this. Yes, the internet and certain advancements that we have today do. D-O, I do admit that the internet has helped people to reach goals a lot faster. But what happens when those goals are the wrong goals? Like, a goal is a goal. Was your goal a good goal or a bad goal? Because you do have more people trying to reach goals in a faster time just because the internet exists. Just look, they even want faster data, faster Wi-Fi, everything. So you know they trying to reach their goals faster. That's just why nobody likes a slow network. Ask all the phone companies. That's why they got to keep advancing it to 3G, 4G, 5G. They keep trying to keep up with the demand of the people. Uh, and then they call these goals. I said, oh, y'all are not finna change the definition of goal. You're not gonna switch that up in my life. If it was my goal, number one, only I know most times when people set a goal, the time frame is a big part of the goal. Like, they call it a New Year's resolution, but they never set, like, okay, what's your actual goal? Like, how long do you want? You know what I'm saying? How long are you trying to wait for this goal to transpire in your life? And that's what more shows the grit in us. 1 second, guys. All right, so I'm back. When I come back, though, I'm finna hit the pause button again. We're gonna talk about goals a little bit and why they matter today. You know, people are just, everybody want to obtain everything the quickest way possible. And if you have too many people trying to do that, what do you have happen? You got a bunch of impatient people. You already know what's gonna happen. Just like on Black Friday with Christmas, everybody's fighting, punching each other, trying to get the PS5 on sale because they only gonna have 100 of them. They never tell that part. They be like, "We're having a sale for Christmas," but they're only gonna have so many in stock. So you have people line up to try to be first in line, so they can get it quickest. What be crazy about it is all of them be there with the money to buy the same thing. It just be a matter of like who gets it first, right? They think that mean they love the person they buying a gift for if they got in line and bought it first when it first came out. You know how it is. You got a lot of people that still are into that. They want to be they soon as something come out, they want to be the first one with it. I'm like, why does it matter if you get it 2 weeks later? At least you got it. No, they like, Mom, I gotta get it when it first come out. Like, dang, that's how some people, kids and adults, are like this. There's nothing fake about our beliefs over here. I really believe that. Like, you should just be more grateful if you get a thing, not ungrateful if you didn't get it in a certain time frame. Because not even real goals work like that. Notice a person to sit there and say they saving, oh, this $10,000. I'm trying to save $10,000. Usually people have a goal with when they do stuff like that. You can raise it, or you can save it, or you can work for it. Those have always been the three ways that people, and I don't like what our country is turning into, where it's like people can't even recognize when people got a goal no more. So now they want us to somehow creatively make our goals come to pass with no money. Because let me repeat this, fundraising has always been a real way. Like, I don't know if people didn't know, like some of us went to business school. Before I graduated for business administration, like people don't even know that I switched my major a few times. It don't have to matter right now. I'm using it. I'm bringing it up for a reason. They'll just say, oh, that person graduated in business administration. Like, bro, ask me what different things, though, I have actually enrolled in school. It's just a matter, like, did you finish that goal? If I would have finished every goal, like everything I went to school for, yeah, I don't think people understand. See, enrolling and actually finishing is two different things. But you do have proof of all the different programs you enrolled in, and they all differ. That's what I'm telling people. There's nothing wrong with you finding what works for you. Like, what are your goals? Like, I've always been known to switch it up, because like to me, my kids did come first. So it's like, what can I do that makes me happy? I'm not taking too much time for them. Everybody's schedule still incorporates. You wouldn't work a job, but some people don't care. They gonna work a job. It don't matter if they gotta be away from their kids for months or weeks at a time or days at a time. Right? A job is a job. But see, you gotta recognize when you're talking to somebody with goals, that means they have worked odd jobs already. They work long hours already. They have different goals. We could talk all night. We could about why people goals are different, or we don't have to. Just know that people have different goals. Some of this stuff y'all telling people to do is like third grade elementary stuff to them because they done already did it, right? There's nothing wrong with your goals elevate. They should. If your goal is the same goal for 30 years, something is wrong. If your goal is the same goal for 10 years, 5 years, I would just say something's wrong with it. Your goals should change. As a matter of fact, every time you reach one goal, who's to say you can't start another one? The thing is, we all gotta pay bills. I don't care what your goal is. What are people sacrificing just to reach their goals today, right? Plus, you got more people adding to the fuel of fire of like, no, don't help a person reach their goals. Yeah, if you don't, they say it ain't what you know, it's who you know. Oh yeah, that's very true. It doesn't have to be that way. The last I checked, what you know should take you a long way, especially if God said, my people perish due to lack of knowledge. So, yeah, what you know should matter and it could matter. But the world told us it ain't what you know, it's who you know. Maybe in schools they should tell people the truth. At least they know what to expect when they get in the real world. You know what I mean? They out here thinking it's about the education they obtain and what they learn and how they apply those skills in life, right? But it is in real life, it's more than that. It really is who you know. What tells the truth about that is how you'll just see it in society, right? People will start that dumb shit where it's like, yeah, you don't know us, so you can't have this. When they don't know what you know, making it clear who you know. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. Who we knows matters, y'all. A lot of y'all like, well, our kids gonna play together because I think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? People were raised together, so they raised their kids together. You would pretty much know who your kids are hanging with. You got too many people just whole strangers expecting you to just, oh, trust me and my kids. Like, bro, since when? Shouldn't I get to know you? Like, that's my whole child. Not saying every child parent relationship they know the same people, but it should be that way, at least till that child is an adult or till they get a little older. But why would you want them to have a whole different sector category of friends than you do? What parent would want that? Those this message is for, they gonna come across this stream, you know, because these are the kind of small tactics too that I think people use to you know, in Virginia right now, they saying kids is coming up missing. That's a whole thing. But go look at how long ago that CBN video came out of that psychic giving that warning. That's what we're here to talk about. You can mock psychics and prophets all day long, but how many times can we prove, like, right after they said something happened? So this is what I wanted to look at. The only two ways that can happen, because it could just be that person psychic or they're a prophet, but here's another way that could happen. A person could say something and then they just pretty much say it before they set it up. That way it looked like, but who has time to do that all day? That's what I was wondering. Who has times to sit there and you know what I'm saying, speak things before they happen, then stage it every day? That's all they do. Like, who really has time to do that? I'm not saying it's impossible, but that would be a crazy way to live. That's a false prophet. Because see, that's not something you saw before it happened. That's a situation you created so you can look like you foresaw it. And that's crazy if that type of stuff is going on. But I just thought that's interesting. Like, people don't find it interesting. Like, if we're gonna judge people that see before things happen, we should consider that. Here,
Ouch.
come on.
My cream.
Oh, okay, I'll bring it. Come on. I'll get it. Come on. So back to what I was saying, you can either really see something before it happened or you staged it before it happened. But sometimes you can just tell that it wasn't staged. Like, if a person say something before it happened and they give like specific details, right? And there's no way they could have knew that, you're gonna be able to tell. Okay? But I would say we are living in a time it pays to be more vigilant. I hear those notifications. All right, all right. Oh, that's what make me want to talk about it even deeper. Like the mad distractions, bro. Um, okay, if y'all didn't learn nothing else off this stream tonight, when the next time you consider yourself judging somebody on whether they're a false prophet, take a look and see if they receiving money to do what they do. That's gonna tell you a lot. Cause like I said, it's not written nowhere in the Bible where a prophet came to town and said, "Give me some money to tell you the truth about something. Give me some money before I give you the recipe on how to make something that might help heal you of a certain condition. Give me some money and then I'll give you some clothes." Never have you heard a prophet say this. You might, a real prophet, you might have proof that they had to ask for money to eat, though. A real prophet, you might have proof that they had to need help getting by. And you're going to see it over and over again. Am I saying that prophets just be poor out here and don't live lives? I think that's what they really shocked about. Like, oh, seers are just like us. Yeah, it ain't no application yet that say, oh, because you're a psychic or a seer or a prophet, you get free rent. You get a free car. It's never been like that. That's why I say who working extra hard to call themselves silencing them. We've always need to hear what they got to say. If you can allow people to sit there and do fights and crazy stuff on the internet, you can let the prophet speak. Yeah, if you're gonna let all this other stuff be circulating on the internet, why make it look like prophet speaking? I think y'all get a gist of what I'm saying, but since when are all prophets false prophets? Since when? Not even in the Bible was that true. And then it's never been hard to see the difference. Like, I'm trying to help people see. A false prophet, they ain't gonna be rolling it. They not gonna be sitting nowhere broke. That's the thing. They got so many people deceived. They got a lot of money in their pocket. But a real prophet, they not finna ask for no money just to tell you something that God told them to tell you. What, boo-boo? It's like I've been saying the same thing over and over for 3 hours. But I mean, if that's how this gotta go until I get deeper in the topic, then that's how it gotta go. Maybe that needs to be said. And it's like every charitable organization, ministry you can think of, some of them, like I know they're not all the same and everybody not out to get people, but those ones that it's okay if they got a name on it and call themselves an organization, it's okay for them to ask for money to help contribute to their cause. You know what I mean? Oh, you can help a cause. We're going to feed 10 hungry children. You don't call them false prophets. Actually, it wasn't discovered till recently that a lot of those places don't be even using the money. They be like, send 10 cents to feed a hungry kid, right? People believe that they don't be using the money to do that because it still wouldn't be so many hungry kids in the world. In one country that you say you've been taking 10 cents to feed kids for 20 years, like, damn, they ain't got no food programs and stuff yet. Cause are y'all really giving that money for that? So a person could apply that money thinking they're helping to bless hungry kids, but they don't want to use the money to do something else. But I'm helping y'all to see something. Yes, I agree with that psychic that the youth is under, like, not only is the youth under attack, it's something about this particular youth. Like, I'm going to say 35 and under. It's something about them for sure. Because every other generation, it was okay. Prophets were accepted, psychics were accepted. Like, why all of a sudden this generation of youth, people got so much to say about who fake, who real, who can do this, who can do that. Just this generation, y'all pay attention. This generation to me is the most talked about, stomped on, forgotten. If won't nobody else say it, I will. You can tell it's very prevalent. And you just keep trying to put masks and titles and shades to cover it up. No, bro, the youth is under attack. Otherwise, suicide statistics wouldn't show what they show, which is more youth, literally 16 and under. It's been some suicide stories. The kids are as young as 7 and 8. What gets me is they be even like, since when did the kids even know how to do that? Yeah, like they done learn new creative ways to go off somewhere alone and fall into depression and like do things about it. Literally, like they get in a hole to drug. Like, it's the ages that's telling on this society. The ages of kids in America that's falling into the cycles of this, because it ain't just one culture of people that it's happening to no more. That's the thing about evil when it's prevalent. It's only humans. Wow. Only humans have this like problem with race and culture and religion. Spirits, they bar none. As long as you're a human temple body, it don't care what race, what sex you are, none of that. It just needs a host. So that's why I say that doesn't help us to like try to stay divided in that way. But it does seem like the number one tactic they use to do it. Because how can people look at what spiritually matters for them and for others or for children if they're too busy, caught up in what one person looks like? It's crazy. How can you look at what the people need as a whole if you steady staying focused on one group? You can see it happening. That's why I'm not going to let them worry. That don't even make sense. Of all times, you want to wait till Donald Trump is president to show that, oh, yeah, I don't like black people. That ain't even real. If you didn't like black people or immigrants or something like that, wouldn't you have been speaking on it before now? You just would have been one of those we can reference back to, like, oh, okay, that person did always say that, or that person was always like that. Like, certain people just looking like bandwagon people today, but still want leadership positions. And you're not, I guess God using me to call them out. You're not qualified to do that, to even sit in a certain seat, to tell people what they should do, and you're still a bandwagon person yourself. You still only do what somebody else do. You ain't stood up for what you think is right a little bit. Like, literally, what do you think is right? And then what do your neighbor think is right? And then what do her neighbor think is right? Like that. Not everybody just doing one thing because one person want that done. You know what I mean? Because that's what that one person done. We were talking about goals. That's the word of the week on You Will Make It TV. Last week our topics were reserved for the homeless. And I'll never stop advocating for the homeless. I don't want to anyway, but it's sad you have people that want to keep you so homeless you can't advocate for the homeless, literally. Which really maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe the more they push me out there, the more I'm getting closer to my purpose. You know what I mean? It's sad to think that people think you being pushed outside is you know what I'm saying, keeping you out of the loop of your destiny. Maybe God see that too. So he like, no, her destiny has a lot to do with homelessness. Because really, who's speaking up for him? And then we do need to look at that. If you got people, if there's a whole agenda to just push certain people outside, look at those people they trying to push outside. Don't wait till they all battered and mangled to talk to them about their story. Just start looking at people and what they going through, why they got a home. I feel like single parents just deserve a whole level of protection. I believe Trump was going the right direction when he came out with things like the child tax credit or like you know what I'm saying, free daycare. This stuff was out literally during the pandemic, bro. Like whole new bills made to help people stay at work. That's when it looked like a person was actually trying to help people go to work. Like, why only do that through one presidential term? Come back, turn things off, and then tell people to go back to work. It's just something that we're paying attention to. You don't want to look like you're one of those that are actually after the youth. What are you going to say? Everybody 35 and younger shouldn't have their kids because you feel like you don't like the way they doing it? It's crazy, bro. The internet is not to blame for anything. Also, the internet has never been it was never created, I don't think, to serve as any type of babysitter for parents. But just read statistics. You'll be surprised how much the internet has been babysitting kids. The internet done watch some of y'all kids more than a babysitter. These days, the babysitter probably just there. They just there, like watching the kid. Like the kid is not watching the babysitter. The kid is probably more somewhere on TikTok, one of these things. Me, as a seer, I saw that too, what that psychic is talking about. I'm here to confirm it. I saw what she was talking about too. It's not that you didn't care, but seer and watcher is two different things too. And it's funny how they try to penalize watcher, like, oh well, you're a witness, you saw this happening. When something is being forced upon you, once again, you or anybody else, you are now a forced witness. You didn't even ask to be in the circumstance. That's what I'm saying, like normalizing people understanding that there's a difference between a willing witness and an unwilling witness. And the unwilling witness just didn't ask the witness what they saw. But I say it in the spirit, God has seers and watchers. It's one thing to see something before it happened, but then he might have you in a place where I'm going to have you right here just to watch. I can look it up in the Bible. There are whole angels, like that's their job. They don't fight. They don't say nothing. They record and they watch. Record and then watch again, and record some more and watch again. But how would you say a recorder or a watcher is to blame for anything that you're going through, or a seer? How is anything they fault? Because they saw it before it happened. It could only be the fault of those that didn't listen at some point. If they keep having streaks that they see, streaks that they listen, streaks that they are watchers, streaks of proof. I agree with the long time respected psychic. Actually, I actually believe the more places we can alleviate religious titles, cultural titles, and practices, and what families we come from, we actually might get somewhere. But she was saying that she saw a time coming that we were going to have to protect the youth, our babies, from, satanic occults. And even if she said it years ago, how can we say she wasn't right, bro? And I'm not even talking about me personally. People think they're just excluded. A devil worshiper wouldn't be after my kids. That's why you got to listen to her segment for yourself. I'm finna come back with a part 2 on this topic because I'm trying to see something. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be right back on this same topic. I'm just finna bring a part 2. if you're up, what better time to talk these topics, these real topics about demonic entities, the doors that they like to walk through, the people that they used to use. What better time to talk about it? I will reshare this one on my post section for anybody who missed it, because you can't hear part 2 without hearing part 1. But we're finna go ahead and start shutting down and rebooting for part 2. I told you I was waiting for my little one to go to sleep so I could get deeper in the topic. So I'll be right back with part 2. Thank you guys for tuning in to another insightful topic with You Will Make It TV. And until next time.